welcome to an all-new episode of Much to Do About Nothing. I think this is what episode 8. I think.
Of the
I think
rebrand.
it's 8.
Sounds right.
Let me see. I always note take it. Yep, episode 8. Episode 8. Um, we got a lot to talk about. I'm looking here. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll start with. All right. Welcome. I'm Jawan. This is Trayvon and Joel. What's going on?
Everyone.
All right. So we talked a little bit about this before, but I've been seeing a lot of people do not necessarily a ranking. Well, no, they've been doing a ranking of their fate, not best to worst, just favorite to least favorite of MCU movies since Endgame.
Mm.
So all the lists that I saw, I can safely say probably 50% of people had a lot of movies higher than I expected those movies to be. So I wanted to go through this. I want to go through
Hey,
this.
David.
What's up, Jamie?
You're not that late.
No, because I got put on hold, and it's gonna be like an hour. So I might as well.
Okay.
Well, welcome in. All right, so we got things like Far From Home, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Wait, no. Oh wait, yeah, Far From Home, Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder, Wakanda Forever, Quantumania, Guardians 3, The Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. So, rather than... Yeah, No Way Home. So, obviously not doing a list from favorite to least favorite, I wanted everyone to give me their big 3 out of all those movies since Endgame. Their big 3. Recency bias doesn't matter. Just your big 3. It's just you. Right, just the movies. No shows, just the movies. We're not here to debate it. I'm just curious what your top 3 are, because most of the top 3 I've seen from people that have made this list were not the top 3 that I would go with. So I found it very interesting. I'll start so I don't put anyone on the hot seat. I'm gonna go Deadpool, Wolverine, not in any order. Deadpool, Wolverine. Oh shit! Hold on. No, I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna go Wakanda Forever. I'm gonna go Guardians 3, and I'm gonna go. Fuck.
As soon as you started, I was like, "We'll see." It's tough. It's tough after
5 is easy to me because I did not love all these movies. I enjoyed them, but did not love them. 5 would be, I'm not changing it to 5. It's still 3. I'm just gonna have to fucking get over it. All right. Fuck it. Wakanda Forever, Shang-Chi, and No Way Home.
Okay.
I have to. As much as I want to put Guardians, because it's probably the most emotional I've ever felt from a comic book movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's just nothing about me wants to ever rewatch that movie because of the emotional ties that I personally have to that movie. Watching it again with L'Oreal was tough for me. So I'll just go pure entertainment. I thought Shang-Chi was probably one of the more perfect movies. I hearing people talk about their list, they were talking about not liking the final act, and I'm like, I could argue that's probably the best fucking act. So I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking crazy in the head. I think it's probably one of the most perfect movies. No Way Home, because it just tugs on everything. I mean, emotions, geekdom, fucking nostalgia, everything. And Wakanda Forever, because the degree of difficulty was probably sky high. And to take that movie and make it work the way that they did was great. And I also love it because I remember me and Joel talking about this. A lot of people were theorizing there would be numerous Black Panthers as a way to keep Shuri from being the Black Panther. And I remember every time we heard it, we thought it was the most ridiculous shit we had ever heard.
A lot of people coping.
It was their way of coping. God bless them. So that's my top three. That's my top three.
And there was something else too, but sure, it was coping. That's all it was, coping. It was some other stuff. Just like same thing going on with Ironheart right now. It's the same stuff.
That's a double whammy.
It's really close to saying, like, because they think she's replacing. It's stupid, whatever.
Again, anyone that thinks that or not, I'm starting to understand now. Every time you and Didge are referring to people that think like that, it's starting to become very clear where they come from. They do not come from our community. They are not part of us. All right? I want to make that very clear because the issues that they have are issues of people that maybe don't know where these things come from. So it's why maybe it's easy for me to ignore because it's like, oh, you're just trying to sound stupid. You're like, dude, there's no intelligence you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if anyone watches that trailer and goes, "Oh, she's trying to replace Iron Man," you're just not of this community enough for me to value your opinion on anything. So that's just how I take it. It's easy for me to dismiss. It's like, oh, well, that's ignorance, and you're choosing to be ignorant. So
it is.
Away with you. All right, before I pass it to someone else, we'll read what DJV and Didge have in here. Welcoming in Didge and DJV. Deadpool and Wolverine, No Way Home, Shang-Chi. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Guardians. Again, not having Guardians in there is tough, but Wakanda Forever, man. Like I said, Namor, great. Angela Bassett's performance is, I wouldn't even say arguably. I don't think I've seen a performance where I thought, damn, that might be Oscar worthy. I don't remember the last time in the MCU I felt like that. Damn sure did from that movie. Yeah, so again, completely love where you two are coming from. Can't go wrong, either one of those. Trayvon, I'll go to you. What's your top three?
The Marvels, Multiverse of Madness, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
So two of them having Wanda. Should I look into that or no?
What do you mean? Two of them having Wanda.
Oh, sorry. No, not Wanda. Sorry. Two of them having your favorites in Captain Marvel and Wanda.
For me, it just went to the ones I had the most blast. Like,
okay.
I rewatched that damn scene of her like, you're exhausting my patience. Like, I love that. Why is that up there? Why is that up there?
Oh, weird.
It's so
Why
funny.
is that up there? Trayvon, we know you did that.
I did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's repping, promoting
He
the
must be
brand.
signed.
Why do you have an issue with that? Let him rap.
It's just funny. It's
Let
just
him rap.
I didn't even look to see. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. My camera's still on. I was like, what's happening? Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, it's easy. Those are the movies I had most fun in. Things I can rewatch over and over and over again. Just fun, just pure fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am surprised as someone that speaks as highly of Eternals and Shang-Chi as you do that they did not make your list.
You did 5, they would have been there.
Oh,
yeah,
5,
they were there.
For sure. Yeah, no, I get that. Hold on before I go to you, Jamie. Let's see. I don't know if I can watch Wakanda Forever again, LOL. I barely held it together in the theater. The beginning funeral, Angela's speech in the council, the ending. It doesn't still have that same effect for me. It was tough the first time I watched it in theaters. Then the next 2 times I watched it, it wasn't as heavy. I could go in there and just enjoy it for the movie. Guardians has an actual personal emotional tie to me that every time I watch it, it's just a reminder of that for me. But no, I totally get that. It's like, you know, you don't want to watch like a super sad movie over and over and over again. I completely get it.
For that movie, I tend to do this with a lot of things. If I don't like a part of it, I skip it. So that part at the beginning where they're like trying to figure out the heart shaped area the same, I was like, no. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you. Like we're not going. I'm not doing the funeral again. I'm not doing it. Like we get past that. I'm sorry.
Oh no. That's
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not dismissing it, Dig. I'm just saying for me, I got all of my emotion out when the announcement first happened, and then watching the movie for the first time, it just doesn't hit the same because it's something you kind of, you've kind of. Well, let me.
We had no idea they would have opened it that way.
Accepted it.
No,
that was a big. I was like, oh, that's what they're doing. That was a surprise. I think that was the main thing.
You didn't know how they were gonna. Address it. So no, I get the idea of how sad it is and tough of a rewatch. I'm just saying, for me, I got all of that out of my system in that first watch. I was very much emotional in the first watch, but once I get past, I'd probably say I cried less for T'Challa's death and cried more for his son at the end. I cried way more for that because I thought that was probably the most beautiful thing. As a farewell to Chadwick, you could have done was to say it's not replacing you; it's just passing on. Rather
every time I say that, I smile real hard. When I see that part, I'm like, "Oh, look at him! Oh, it's so cute."
Yeah, it's funny because it's fun. You know what it is, Trayvon? It's not until he says, "My mom says you can keep a secret," and she's like, "Yeah, I can." And then when he goes through explaining his name, I think that's what hurt me the most.
Uh-oh.
That's the part. But like just seeing him and everything was just like, oh, that's beautiful. And then when he goes, I'm actually T'Challa, it's like, oh, you little fucker. All right, you did it. I'm gonna cry. I love that. So that was a little bit different for me. But yeah, I get it. Again, not something you want to throw on and watch all the time. The son at the end and the montage almost got me. I had the sniffles. You don't have to try to be hard. You full out cried. All right, don't try to be tough here. All right, we all cried. It's cool. Jamie, what's your big three?
All right, let me pull up the site and make sure I got everybody. I'm gonna go in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Wakanda Forever, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the new Avengers. Thunderbolts, whatever you want to say.
Wait, hold on.
Mine was in order.
Thunderbolts. Say the other two again.
Thunderbolts, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Wakanda Forever.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Look, like I said, Wakanda Forever, man. Thunderbolts. I'm gonna be honest. So.
Oh, you a hater?
While we wait for no. While we wait for Joel to pop back in, so I'm looking through, right? So let's do this again. So you go Far From Home, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Wakanda Forever, Quantumania, Guardians 3, The Marvels, Deadpool, Wolverine, Brave New World, Thunderbolts. If I had to do a top 10, right? So we already got 3 out of the way.
Oh, not top 10. Okay.
No. I'm not going around everyone. No, I'm not going around everyone.
Well, I can give you top 10.
This is just conversation so Joel pops in because I don't want to move on and then come back. I'm going to be honest with you. I have Thunderbolts kind of low.
Really?
Yeah. That was one of those. You know what it was? I never was truly interested in the premise of this movie. I was more interested in what is the asterisk for and where is this taking me? Like, what is this? Is this movie one of those, like, one-offs that's kind of just in its own world and that's it? Or are you taking me somewhere? So to see that it's taking me somewhere was fun. And then seeing what the actual asterisk was kind of just like, I don't know what I thought I wanted. Part of me did want Dark Avengers. I ain't gonna hold you. It did make sense. I get it. I understand. Part of me did want that. I don't know. I can't say that I enjoyed it more than Brave New World. I don't think I can. I don't think I can say that. I think I enjoyed Brave New World more. I think people are overly harsh on that movie. I think you can argue that movie was just as cookie cutter as Thunderbolts was. I mean,
cookie cutter in what sense?
Okay, so someone said this to me after they saw it when I came into work, and they were like, "Oh, I saw Thunderbolts," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, how did you like it?" And he was just like, "The power of friendship, huh?" I was just like, "Yeah, that's fair." Yeah, no, I mean, I guess, yeah, no, that's fair, sure, because I know a lot of people were saying how Sam was able to deal with Ross,
Right? It did the same way.
like, right, the power of love, right, and I'm kind of just like. I mean, this Thunderbolts did the same thing. So I mean,
neither one of them had the power to fight the person they were going up against.
Exactly,
they would have died easily, both of them. So it's like,
so I mean, what else were you gonna do, right? So I'm not saying that to knock it because I was fine.
Yeah,
with it. Once I heard you put Sentry in the movie, it was I mean, it ends with him killing everyone. I don't really know what else you're gonna do. You gotta drug him or some shit.
Like Sam and Red Hawk, like, come on. Like he not gonna beat him.
Sam did a good job.
No, I'm saying, but he
had.
in theory, like, come on, y'all, like, yo, what you thought he was gonna do? Even if Bucky came in to help, what were they gonna do? Like, be real.
Bucky got his arm snatched off quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Like,
Red Hulk would have ate that shit. Thunderbolts might be 5 or 6 on my list. I really enjoyed it. Okay, let me see. I got to rewatch Far From Home again to say for sure. No, Far From Home I thought was very well done. I did like a lot about it. But I can't create a narrative where I have 2 Spider-Man movies that high. I don't think I can convince myself I loved it that much. So okay, so I said I already gave my big 3. So then the next movie after that would probably be Deadpool Wolverine at number 4. Number 5 would probably be Guardians. Number 6, Eternals. would be number 6.
Yeah, I think I really just go off of movies I rewatch, and
Captain America would probably be my number 7, and then the rest kind of fizzle out towards the end.
I don't think I've rewatched any of these.
Oh, I have.
I plan on rewatching Brave New World not next week, the week after, when it's on Disney Plus. Just like I said, I really did have I had a fun time with it, and for me, that's really all I need. Is did I have fun? It's how I was able to not ask for my money back for Venom, for all the Venoms, was the idea of like I did have fun. You know, like
that's pretty much my scale too, on like the fun to story ratio. Yeah, fun to
you
story.
just gotta have fun. That's really all I ask for. Is just I need to have fun, and if I do, I'm cool. Just moving forward.
The two I haven't turned back on since I've seen them. This is not like one of them is a knock to it. Quantumania I have not said let me turn that on again, and Guardians 3 just too much. With some movies just too much. I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
Hold on. You'd rather rewatch Love and Thunder than Guardians 3?
It's fun. I don't know. Love and Thunder's fine. Like
it is. It's all right.
I can ignore the screaming gets on my nerves at a certain point, but I can.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a bad movie. Like there's nothing enjoyable about it.
See, I don't know nothing about like gore like that, so it's like
taking that out of it. I did not have a fun time.
Oh, okay.
So much about it was just like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Am I supposed to cringe? Like, what is funny. Like? It's just too much for me. It
like, did I think I was super great? No. Like, did I laugh? I'm like, I laughed. Yeah. I laughed.
I couldn't say I enjoyed Thor more than Guardians 3. I don't think
Guardians got dark. I was like, this one.
Right. Thor, the girl had cancer the whole
movie. She was in Valhalla then. She was okay. I don't know.
That's death. She died.
I know, but
no one died in Guardians.
It's I don't know.
All right. God bless you.
He's back.
God bless you. I'll never watch Thor: Love and Thunder ever again. Yeah, look, I respect Trayvon, but I cannot say I'll watch Love and Thunder.
I've been the one that said I enjoyed all the Thor movies, so I can't. I've always said that. So I've never said I hated what's it called? Shit, Dark
Dark
Elves
World?
one. Yeah. I never said I hated that one. So
I told you, in doing the rewatch with L'Oreal, after seeing it again, I kind of feel like it gets more hate than it needs. It's not that bad. I mean, we've seen worse. It's not that bad. But I wouldn't argue if someone just said, like, hey, I didn't enjoy myself. I can understand. But it wasn't, like, the worst thing ever. It wasn't that bad. All right, Joel, everyone's giving their big three. What's your big three?
That was already said. Mine matches DJV's.
Oh, wait. Shit, I forgot. What was his big three?
His was
Deadpool, Wolverine, No Way Home, and Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Those are my
okay.
top three.
Okay.
In that order?
No specific order. It just so happens that two of them are my favorite characters, Spider-Man and Wolverine. It's hard to not include those. And then Shang-Chi was like the stand. It just caught me off guard how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
And come on, only one of those balls is Trayvon here. All right. Maybe Jay.
Oh,
maybe.
I mean, I would hope y'all would. Y'all got some.
Oh, we know balls personally. It's a little different. I know.
We know ours.
We know our balls.
That's
there
universally.
You go. Universally,
that's
we
plural.
There's so many words that I've seen a lot of them. You're trying to be funny. Don't stop.
Just saying, universally, I don't know.
Let's move on.
I know mine. That's all I can speak for.
No,
to go to your point, Joel, seeing Shang-Chi as many times as I have, I really do think it set the standard after Endgame. It was only met with the same level of standard with, in my opinion, with Wakanda Forever. Only reason I skip over No Way Home is because I think No Way Home did the same thing Deadpool and Wolverine did, where the emotion and depth of the movie does kind of get lost in the idea of you kind of just like, I don't give a fuck about that emotion. Give me the goods. Give me the Spider-Man. Give me Gambit. Give me Blade. I think for Shang-Chi and Wakanda Forever, you just had to soak in the story, and just be carried by the.
I'll give you a hot
story.
take.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the Spider-Man were bigger for other people than for me.
What
I would agree.
Andrew and Toby?
Yeah, like I liked them, but they didn't make the movie for me.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
What before we go to you, Jamie, what made it for you?
I do think it was having all the Spider-Man at the end, because I'm not gonna lie to you, and I said this before. I don't know if I was on the review or not, but Tom Holland's Peter Parker is not my favorite Peter
just
Parker.
say you hate him. It's okay.
I don't hate him. It's just like I feel like he does stupid things that Peter Parker should know. This is stupid. I probably shouldn't do this. And it's like he's a high schooler, or like, getting to college, whatever. People make stupid mistakes.
They gotta keep the movie moving.
But at the same time, like, he's supposed to be smarter than the common person. So that's really what frustrates me. I'm like, I have I feel like lower tolerance for dumb people, especially in movies. So when I see so many little dumb things like, well, why would he do this? Why did he do that? What was happening here? That kind of takes me out of it. Then when we bring the 3 Spider, and I'm like, okay, I can't. This is epic. Like, I can't say anything about this. So I'm like, that's kind of what's bringing it back. Not saying the movie overall was bad, but I was continually getting frustrated by Peter and was screaming, well, internally, not at the screen in the theater, but I was like, please don't do these things.
Well, I mean, I completely respect where you're coming from. I think for me, the reason why I prefer what they're doing with Tom is that Tom is the only one that actually felt like a child growing into a man, right? As opposed to Andrew and Toby kind of looking like grown-ass men, parading as like young adults, right? Like,
that could be the other thing,
motherfucker looks
too.
like he pays taxes for sure, right? Like, got a whole wife and kids, like, you know what I'm saying? So Tom, I want to remind you, got powers as a freshman in high school.
He looked like one.
You're watching him try to mature with the power of 100 men.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
you know so
maybe that's a part of it. Is like they're really trying to give him really trying to make him seem like a high schooler, and I'm like, that's totally fine. That just means he's not going to be my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with boys in life or movies in general anymore. So I'm like, I'm ready for the bid. I'm ready for the bid.
I think because they did that, it made sense, right? Because it's like I don't know how much I would have loved it if you were telling me this freshman in high school that just got these powers, you're just now incorporating him into this MCU, is already the smartest person in all of the MCU.
Listen,
right? He's just like, he's
got to be the smartest person.
To,
I can't remember what my case was. I'll have to rewatch the movie to tell you the specific things that I'm like, okay, Peter, like we should actually, you know, here's one for example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bringing, I forget who the bad guy was, bringing him to his apartment building where Aunt May was also living. I'm like, why?
They all went there.
Why would you do that? Why would you bring somebody?
He thought he was saving them.
Well, wait, also, let's remember.
He's an idiot.
Remember.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you do that? Like, I would never do that in real life.
He book smart, not street smart.
Book smart, not street smart. This is where you guys are being a little biased. Let me tell you why. You're talking about you're faulting this kid for having too big of a heart. I want to remind you.
No, listen, I'm very.
Peter did with Norman and Harry in Toby's movies, and it's the same exact thing Andrew did with Harry in his movie. He was a little too forgiving, a little too open, a little too naive, and it got people killed.
But these are people that he knows. He did not know this Norman that came out of this portal or whatever. He doesn't know stranger danger. And he's like, let me invite him over. Let's have dinner. I'm like, what the hell?
He didn't invite them to his house. He invited them to Happy's house. That's one. Two, his options were...
You shouldn't be doing that.
Well, it's someone else's house. I don't give a fuck what you do over there. Anyway, he was met with two options. The first option was kill them. Let them all die. He didn't feel right with that. So he thought if I could bring them together, I can fix them. They can become better people, and I can send them back as better people. I can't fault the kid for having a good heart. I mean,
but that's also part of the journey. The problem here is this is his version of what happened because they didn't do the Uncle Ben thing, and it was his guilt for letting his uncle die because he didn't stop the man when he could. Could have kind of like waved it off or like whatever. It's not my problem. This was his version of that.
Right.
Because he was stupid. No, that was a bad idea of me. Like I shouldn't have did this, and it cost him his aunt.
Right.
And that's why he was guilt ridden. I know you don't like it, but that was part of his journey. That stupidity is what's going to make him a better person down the line. That's part of Spider-Man though, because not always his heart will sometimes get in the way of logic.
I mean, let's not forget, Joel. We read a infamous comic where Spider-Man got talked into going on live television and going, hey, world, I'm Spider-Man, right? And then we saw the consequences he had to face for that. Looking back, I'm sure he thought to himself, that was a really stupid fucking idea. I maybe shouldn't have done that, right? Like, it's cool for Iron Man. Yeah, he can protect himself. I maybe shouldn't have done that, you know? So I'm like, I think that's the thing of Spider-Man. Is that no matter how old he is, he makes mistakes, you know?
Listen, I'm not saying nobody can make mistakes. I'm just like, when you repeatedly make stupid decisions over and over, I start to question, like, what is going on?
Hey, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Who in the MCU has not? Start from day one. So many mistakes.
Listen, again, it's not making mistakes. It is like back to back to back to back.
That's Stark in almost every movie. That's Stark in almost every movie. He had those moments where it's just
I haven't felt like there's the kind of mistakes in most of the movies.
Tony Stark went on live television and said, "This is where I live with my current girlfriend. Come kill me." And then the moment that guy said, all right, bet. You think I'm pussy? I'll meet you there. The moment he did it, Stark was just like, oh, maybe that was a bad idea.
Like, a teenage boy from Queens to fucking go wherever they went to, that country, to fight against other superheroes.
I don't
Right.
view that the same because I'm just like, oh, he really thought he was all that, and he found out, oh, maybe I'm
just
not.
saying, like, there's a lot of
Stupidity,
places.
Jamie. Come on, that's
It is
stupidity.
stupid, but it's not like, oh, I'm doing this thinking it's a good idea. Tony was just like, went out there, was like, yeah,
He was
whatever.
also,
Like,
he
I'm
was
all
also
that.
about to expose this kid's identity to the world.
Right.
Like,
Right.
See, but
That man
here's
made a
my
lot
thing.
of mistakes.
Most of the movie mistakes that happen are usually just like, oh, I don't have the foresight to think about XYZ thing. With the thing where he's like, let me invite these bad guys over to this place where it's like, you know, a civilian area, things can get bad. I'm like, you could have been like, maybe we should meet somewhere else. Like, that's not
it
gonna.
would have worked if Norman didn't freak out. Again, Norman was. It's hard to read him because he was fucking nuts. You know?
And he didn't know him.
Right.
That's not
There
the
was
thing.
a good. There's a
That's
good
all I'm
Norman.
saying.
There was a bad
I
Norman,
was
you know?
frustrated.
Time out. I think, Joel, where Jamie is given a little, just a tiny bit of revisionist history. What Peter set out to do worked on everyone except for Norman. Remember, everyone was good. Then the moment Norman started tweaking, everyone was just like, oh yeah. Fuck that. I don't want the cure either.
I was not. I'm like bringing 1, 5, 10. It didn't matter.
It almost
I'm
worked.
like, I don't think just
It
because it almost worked doesn't mean you should just get away with it. That's all I'm saying.
And
I
also,
definitely brought
don't
super
forget.
villains back to my house. Yeah, I mean.
Also,
That's
don't
what's
forget, because Peter lacked those villains in his world, he didn't really know the depth of how crazy Norman was. How, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really know these things. So, again, it worked till it didn't. But at the time, he was with, kill them or try to be a hero and save them. And I can't be mad at the kid for trying to be a hero and save them. Look,
I can't be mad at him
grew
for
up a
trying to
major
save
Batman
him.
fan.
I don't agree with the methodology.
I don't disagree, but growing up a Batman fan, do you know how hard it was in the early days of being a Batman fan to convince myself that arresting these villains for them to break out the next day was always the smart thing to do? I'm like, you can kill one of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was always my brain till I understood.
That was still
Batman just won't do that. You know? Yeah. Like, for me, it was just like, you know how dumb it is? You just arrest them, breaks out the next day, you arrest them, same, you know what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, what Tom Holland's Spider-Man did, to a degree, is what Tobey's did, and to a degree, is what Andrew's did. You're
Possibly
just sometimes
so.
Too open. You know,
it's okay.
You should just left them in their cages.
Tobey was the only Spider-Man to escape out of all of his stupidity, essentially spotless. Andrew's Spider-Man lost a lot. And Tom's Spider-Man lost a lot. Tobey's was the only one to make it out. He made it out with Aunt May, Mary Jane. Well, no, he did lose Harry, right? Didn't Harry die?
Harry died, but eventually...
Yeah, Harry did die.
Tobey, yeah. Aunt May did die. Didn't she?
No, I'm saying his Harry died, but his Mary Jane didn't die. His Gwen Stacy didn't die. His Aunt May didn't die. That man made it out spotless. I mean,
remember her dying. Did she die? No,
she didn't die, because remember, the last time you saw her, she was giving him the wedding ring. In Spider-Man 3.
I haven't seen that movie in a minute.
Yeah,
I watched it not too long ago. Before we move out of this, Joel, you did say that your hot take was the assembling of the 3 Spider-Men was not the big moment for you. What wasn't that?
There wasn't a moment. I loved the movie as a whole. That wasn't
right.
a draw for me. I just the idea of the multiverse, the beginning of that, seeing the villains come from different areas, that was bigger, more appealing to me than seeing all 3 Spider-Men. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked it, but it wasn't like I never ever needed it. Like if it never happened, I would have been fine. But if it happened, it was cool. You know what I mean?
You know what?
I agree.
I respect
think
that
it was cool,
because if you told me Deadpool and Wolverine gave me everything except for the cameos, I think I would have still appreciated that movie the same. Like if you took Blade and Gambit and X-23 out. Because I think at the end of the day, I never thought I'd see a Deadpool and Wolverine movie where Wolverine was comic accurate and then put the cowl on. Like, that was enough. You could have only given me that, and I would have still...
That movie was going to get it just for him having the cowl alone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I didn't notice this when I watched this movie. I only noticed this when Joel brought it up. Joel goes, you know what I love the most about what Hugh Jackman was trying to do in that movie? And I go, what? And he goes, notice how many times his tall ass tried to like get very low. And it wasn't until I rewatched it, I'm like, he really did try. He tried a lot to get as low as he possibly could for his tall ass.
I really appreciate it.
I said, oh, I do. Even when he put the cowl on, he got as low as he could. I'm like,
because that's his stance. It's all really low.
Yep.
He's already usually he's short and he does it. So imagine his tall ass to get real low.
Right. Yeah. It did leave me that after Secret Wars, I do need a new, accurate.
I mean,
size.
To be fair, I need.
See, that was the one thing about the movie where I was like, how did we not get a new Wolverine? Not that I listen, y'all. I love Hugh Jackman, but I'm also like, he said multiple times he doesn't want to be doing this, you know. So we need a new one.
We all agree, Jamie. Trust me. We've had this conversation. It's got to happen eventually. It's just no offense. It's just too old. And look, they're gonna reboot the X-Men.
It's still look good eventually. Shit, though, let me tell you.
But to be fair, to your question, Jamie, to your question, the reason why you don't do it now, the reason you don't do it now is currently, apparently, according to rumors, they're filming for Doomsday an X-Men scene. And apparently everyone is in their comic accurate suits. I need Hugh Jackman in that. I need that rectified. I need to know that mentally I can wash away that original X-Men movie and pretend like it never existed.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I enjoy those movies. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
No one thought of light. No one thought of color. No one thought of any of that. I need
look, they hate powers.
That's fine. That's great. My problem I have no problem. What they're about to do, and I appreciate those movies for what they were, is going to be fucking fantastic. I might cry during that battle. Because to see them, the characters, or the actors, because not the actors' fault that they never got to wear their costumes, right? So to see the actors in their costumes, and at least one final time before they reboot them, because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's a nice farewell.
Yeah.
And it's something I've always wanted to, and they're gonna go up against the Avengers. Like the fact that they'll be able to fight, like it's just crazy. like this is something I wanted specifically for a very long time, just to see them in their suits, never to really fight the Avengers. That would always been a cool thing. That's just a bonus that I just, again, it's something I thought that would wait much longer when it was rebooted and shit. Yep. So to see that possibly happen, they've already teased Sentinels. like this movie has become way bigger and not, I'm not gonna say better. I don't know what could have been, but it's become so much more than what it was supposed to be because of the switch to Dr. Doom. I keep calling him Tuesday because of the movie. Dr. Doom. It's just holy shit. Like this movie's become something else for sure, and it's actually become easier to follow because I think they'll take more from the comics, certain comics than where they were before, where I think they were kind of winging it with certain areas.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And look, I respect you guys enjoying those movies. I love it. You know how I fight for those Fantastic Four movies. I am saying to go back and rewatch it and to know that almost 85% of that first X-Men movie was like in darkness, and then they thought it was cool to dress them in darkness.
No, my favorite part. Go back. I've told this story before. My first, I was in high school at the time. They took us to a movie. I don't know why. They just did. I forgot what science class. It was a space movie. We went to go see it anyway. So I think it was my freshman year. Mm-hmm. And I walked into the movie and I saw the big X. And I'm like, and I just stopped it because it's all it was just a giant X. I'm like, are they really fucking doing an X-Men movie? Because that's the first thing that popped in my head. But I wasn't sure if that's what the case was. But I'm like, that's cool. And then that's before there was, I was really into the internet or where I knew where shit was. And I don't remember reading it in Wizard. Maybe they did talk about it, but I wasn't collecting it all the time. It was like sporadically. Anyway, we get into the theater and they fucking play the trailer before the movie. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen. Didn't recognize a fucking soul from and in that trailer. So I was like, I don't know who was who because I didn't see a costume or I saw Claus. I don't know who was playing Wolverine, but I saw Claus. I think the only person I recognized was Xavier because that was probably the easiest fan cast at the time ever was to get Patrick Stewart as Xavier. I'm like, well, that's pretty obvious. I'm glad they did that. And yeah, it just went on. Like I wasn't a fan of what the the costuming for. I hate the costumes in those movies. But at the time, we didn't get much of anything, so you just take it for what you could. And I loved that movie and part 2. Didn't love 3 as much, but I enjoyed most of it. And then everything that came afterwards, and like even when they tried, where I thought they were going to reboot it with Days of Future Past, where I thought they had a chance to kind of like fix everything that they could, what they did in the past.
They doubled back.
They doubled down. I'm like, I don't understand. Whatever, fine. The point is, now we can move on finally after they decided to do that.
I will say, Joel, the moment I knew Fox needed to die was I remember saying X-Men Last Stand was not the greatest movie ever, right? But I loved it for what they were trying to do. I thought they got lazy, could have done a lot better, right? But I always fought for that movie because I really did have fun watching that movie. I'll tell you this, Trayvon, and now I'm going to pass it to you. I'm going to just say this last thing. It wasn't until I saw Dark Phoenix that I realized how truly lazy a writer and a director could be. Yeah. I was just like, oh, people need to take all the hate back for The Last Stand and give it all to the Dark Phoenix. Because there's no way you can look at The Last Stand and shit on it as much as you should shit on Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix got it. Here's the thing with Dark Phoenix. It wasn't good for sure, but it had good it had good moments. There were moments in that movie that were fun. The fight scenes were fun in that movie. Not gonna lie, I don't know why.
I thought they were in The Last Stand when he fought in the woods. I had so much fun with that.
They had moments, but not. I thought Dark Phoenix had better action moments.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. And the Dark Phoenix looked better than whatever they did over there.
Wow.
So my thing with that movie was I know for a fact they got meddled. It got meddled with because I don't think that whatever the alien things that they used in that movie that got changed.
It's supposed to be like trees and stuff, right?
I think they were supposed to
scrolls.
Yeah,
scrolls.
I believe they were originally scrolls and they got changed to whatever.
But it's still shapeshifted.
Yeah, they did.
Go find it. Yeah.
Well, and they're actual like aliens from the comic, but none that are worth like talking about. And they got changed to that because obviously the MCU at that point was going to start using scrolls, as you know, and they did. And so it kind of got meddled with. That doesn't change the fact that the movie wasn't great, and they just kind of wasted. What was her name? The villain in the movie.
I know the actress. I don't remember.
What's her name? The actress.
Jessica.
Chastain?
Jessica Chastain.
Was it Chastain?
Yeah, it was Chastain.
They wasted her. They wasted her on a nothing character, which is sad. And look,
Joel, they did give us the greatest gift that movie could ever give us.
What was that?
Gave us the death of Mystique. That's all you could ever ask for.
To be fair, I think that's what she wanted.
That's a Katniss.
It was collective. It was collective. We all applaud. Yes.
Oh, the girl tried to see you.
Joe, she didn't even have the dignity to die blue. That was when I said, you know what? Bring her back, kill her again. Kill her again until she dies blue. I was so angry.
I'm not putting that shit
on the ground blue for 5 minutes.
It's funny because the first 3 underutilized there. The last 3 overutilized here. I'm like, what is happening? There's a middle ground. Like, whatever.
What were you gonna say, Trayvon? What were you gonna say for me?
I'm just saying I had a blast with all those movies. So I listen.
They don't age them in those movies. Like, why the fuck is Michael
Fassbender
the same age? Like, why isn't he aged at all?
He's beautiful. That's all that matters.
Okay, but like, they could have aged him a little bit. Give him some white hair or something.
That's fine. And then when she took flight, listen, I said, "Movie great. This movie's great. I don't care." That's it.
That cannot be the only thing.
That shit was awesome. Great. I don't give a damn. I loved it.
Doesn't take much.
Find movies.
Breathe. That movie was so fucking fun. I don't care. I enjoy when she just started disintegrating motherfuckers. I was like, I enjoy this. I need this power. This is great. I enjoy it. I love her. I love Dark Phoenix. Can't wait to see it again. Can't wait. Her up.
I don't think you will.
Yes,
I think if anything, I think if we learned anything, Fox might have fucked up the opportunity for Kevin to ever.
They did it twice. My thing is, they shouldn't be. So. They shouldn't be afraid to do it again because both times they did it wrong.
That is true.
Even though the second time was closer.
I mean, she still went into space and got hit.
Yeah, a second time they tried better. The second time around for sure.
Still failed.
But there's like if you involve the Shi'ar, like that would be cool. That I'd be more willing to, you know.
Well, again, that you're talking long game now. If they do it as a long game, then yeah, that's plenty enough time for people to forget all that.
Oh man, look, it's been how long? When was Dark Phoenix? Anybody got the
2018, 2019? Maybe? No. It's before that, like 2016, 2015, maybe.
Fuck. That sounds
Listen,
far.
at the end
2019.
of Apocalypse, when she was walking out, on that, like
I just
walking
know.
out air. Listen,
you know what, Trayvon? You know what?
I was
right.
levitating.
Can I apologize to you, Trayvon?
Psylocke. Woo!
You're right. I do want to apologize for.
It was great.
Man.
The I do want to apologize for the disrespect that I gave Dark Phoenix. You're right. It did give us the greatest gift. It gave us the death of Fox. So I will always appreciate it for it being the catalyst.
It was already dying, to be fair.
So that we could get the great things we have.
It was with that and New Mutants, which I enjoyed New Mutants too.
No, New Mutants is what should have made
they
wasted save their ass.
They wasted the hell out of Iron Tail Jordan. Pissed off. Bring her back. I don't give a damn.
Oh yes.
Do it
mean
again.
They wasted her because
do it again.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Yeah, it's a good actress. Yeah,
great as magic.
I mean, I thought that movie was pretty good. I mean,
I enjoyed myself,
yeah,
and I loved what the director said he was gonna do for the sequel. I was like,
yeah.
oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah,
like,
I like the horror spin with the that was cool. I enjoyed that.
And look, we started getting great conversation. We had John Hamm and Bryan Cranston fighting over Mr. Sinister, and I was just like, both. Can y'all like take turns? I'll do that. Fuck it. I love it. I love the hype that it was gonna get, and then they just said no, we're dead. All because Dark Phoenix and Trayvon's love for it. So, blame Trayvon, everyone. I gave up on Fox a while ago. Well, what's a while ago?
I mean, we've been away from Fox.
I went to the theater for every fucking one of them. Loved it.
You know what? Wait. I do want to ask everyone this. Jamie, I'm gonna start with you.
Dark Phoenix. Oh,
what was the moment in Fox's X-Men Fantastic Four history? Did you know that was the moment you were just done? I'll throw mine real quick. It was the moment where a movie ends with their suits looking the sexiest I've ever seen them to start the next movie going backwards. That was when I said, you know what?
Apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm out. Give me the fuck out of here. Yeah, give me the fuck out of here.
Cyclops looked lit. I was like, oh, look at that.
They all looked. I've never been more excited for the future of something than I was at that end credit scene. And then the start of the next movie, I was just like,
nothing.
No. Hold on, wait, what? No, but what happened?
I did think that was wild.
I swear to God, they did that to get us to buy the ticket to the next one. That's why the fuck
they did us a favor. They gave us a preview, took it away from us, so now we can get the exact right suits. Now,
look at DJV's comment. So technically, DJV will pick up right where he left off. If Doomsday does it right, you'll pick up with the same people you left off with. Jamie, when was the moment you knew you were done?
It's tough to say because I remember, and granted, my opinion might have changed because I know y'all about to throw the tomatoes, but Days of Future Past, I was like, I don't know, like it's okay. I felt like it was kind of weird that Wolverine was much older than everybody else. Granted, I understand it. But I was like, I kind of liked it when Wolverine. It felt like he was peers with everybody else in the earlier movies. So that line of X-Men movies, I was like, I'm like, I don't like him as much as the older ones. But with Logan, I love Logan. So I'm like,
it's fantastic.
Oh, that's the one I can't watch again. Nope.
So after Logan, I'm fully out. After Logan, I'm fully out. But before Logan, I'm like.
I'll shoot you some bail, Jamie. I will say, Joel, to Jamie's point, if you're not familiar with that character, the first three movies, he very much looks like their ages are all the same.
No, yeah.
Oh, you have no idea that he's supposed to be hundreds of years
old. So you saw my face when she said that. Because when she said that, I'm like, he's supposed to be like 100.
I know. I saw your face, and that's why I'm like, to be fair to Jamie, if you don't know and you're watching that,
means you're not paying attention, and now I don't like you. Okay.
I was like, I didn't know anything about anything when I first saw those movies. Let's see, the first one came out 2000.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't watch these when I was like 1. but
Right.
very, very young. I saw the movie,
Right.
so I'm like, oh, this is cool.
No,
Wolverine's cool.
You
All
know
this
what,
stuff is
Jamie?
cool.
I'll double
Yeah.
down on siding with you. They didn't make things any easier when they did Days of Future Past and tried to make him look younger than he actually was. I'm just don't try to make him look younger because you're going back in time. The man is hundreds of years old. There should be some modicum of where a general audience can understand that he's not in the same age bracket as everyone
I felt
else.
like they were trying to like play a little bit of both, and maybe to your point, they should just be like, yeah, he's an old dude.
He's also not a guy you want to try to make look ugly or old. But that's why I respect Logan so much, is because they did it. They dove right into he's old as shit, and I'm like,
it's also his powers are starting to fade too. That's why he aged quicker. That's why he doesn't age quickly. It's because his powers keep him young enough.
Yeah.
And the only reason he looks younger in the Days of Future Past is because he got transported to a younger body. Like 30, 40 years younger.
Yeah. But I'm saying even 30 or 40 years younger, the man's still like 160.
But it didn't feel like that, because Hugh Jackman himself was actually around the same age as the cast members. That's what I'm trying to say.
Actually, weirdly enough, it's like his 70s or whatever at that point. But yes,
but that's what I'm saying. I do get where Jamie's coming from. Obviously, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, you do kind of look at it and go,
"Oh, it's even weirder." Because remember, when the X-Men they were teenagers to start, and then once they eventually all made much older than all of them, and really had a crush on this 18-year-old girl, or maybe even fell in love with her.
Yeah, I didn't think I never really thought about that until just now, because I was like, oh, it'll be I never thought about that until now. That's
Wolverine just thought to himself, no one's carding me, so
he's like, I've been alive long enough, man. You gotta leave me the fuck alone.
He was doing Leo DiCaprio before Leo was.
He's like, who do you expect me to date? And people my age are dead.
Right, exactly.
See,
that's why when Bucky said that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was dying laughing. Where she's like, "How old are you?" I love you for being honest, Bucky. I love it. All right. Before we get to Superman, I want to start with Ironheart. Trayvon, if you could pull up the poster. We'll do the posters for both movies since we can't, do any footage or anything here.
You want me to reenact it?
Where do you want to put Peacemaker? Before Superman or after Superman?
We'll do it canonically. So Superman's first and then Peacemaker. Yeah, I got you though. We won't get out of here without it.
I just think they connect very well. If you watch both trailers.
Yeah, I agree. Wolverine is to me all young.
That's fair. Doesn't matter which version, they're all kids.
They're all kids, yeah. Which is even crazier when he came out of the thing and he was looking at actual children. It's just what is this?
What are you talking about?
Days of Future Past. Was it Days of Future Past? Yeah. No. Not Days of Future Past. It was the movie where the kids. Because the kids weren't in Days of Future Past.
They weren't?
No.
That's right. They weren't. That was still the first class people.
Right. Yeah. So it was after that Wolverine was remember, he was just a cameo for that one little scene.
It was Apocalypse, right?
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah. Because remember, Jean had to use her telepathy to get him to not murder everyone.
Yeah. So I remember that was the ending I didn't like because of the whole Mystique pretending to be Stryker.
Yep.
Never touching that again.
To mean nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yep. I'm like, what was it for? I hated that. Anyway.
All right. So we got our first trailer for Ironheart. Disney was getting tired of the numerous hate mail that Trayvon was sending to them. So they dropped it, and I would say it was a really good trailer. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to know how I'm going to feel about this show until I get to the end of it and see what suit she has going forward. Because I saw two suits. Both of them I can kind of wash away as prototypes,
Yeah, like that one.
Right. Until I see what her actual suit is, I don't know where my excitement level can be because mentally I have what I want it to look like.
Me too.
So I'll see. Again, it doesn't have to, as long as it's like a variation of that. But it needs to be very slim
Get
the
closer
body.
to that. Yeah.
Right. I've never been a fan of bulky. I don't like bulky. So I'm like, I need it slim fit, like it is in the comics. So as long as it's that,
She has
it's
two.
a success for me.
Which one are you talking about?
The one where the little piece is like in her forehead. Yeah.
The heart?
No. It's. I'll bring up a picture and send it to you. So
they probably will do the heart
one.
Hot pink one? It's called. I mean.
No, not the hot pink one. It's the actual Iron Man looking one. Where it's yellow.
See, I want the hot
pink. They won't do that one.
No, guys. I'm saying as long as it's slim fit to the body.
But they're both slim fit. That's what
I'm saying. I'm fine. That's what I say. As long as it's a variation.
So you don't care which one. You just want it.
No, it just needs to be slim fit. I don't want any bulk.
That's what I was just asking. I thought you had a preference. All right.
No. I mean, I do like the hot rod one because it's just an homage to the Iron Man look. But I'm fine with whatever they go with. I don't really. I wouldn't be upset if they go something else. Right.
I like their current suit, the hot pink one, hot pink and black.
Yeah, I'm down with that because it gives you individualism, right? Yeah. Where they can't really hold you to something else. So I won't be able to properly critique how I feel about this show until that, because that is the most important thing for me. Because all we kept seeing in set photos and everything is these clunky ass, big ass suits.
Big one. Yeah.
So I got to get out of that for me to, because that's all I need for the show to be a success. You give me that slim fit suit, 8 thumbs up. Don't care what else they do.
Interesting.
So for me, that's really. But I mean, I've said this before. That was the most important thing for me, is that you get that suit right. I'm not a fan of.
So what's wrong with me wanting the powers right?
Oh,
and loving it.
We always want the powers right. You just don't care about the costume. That's the issue.
Wait, did I say something about powers?
I was just saying, y'all always look funny when I say all I care about is the powers. I don't give a damn about the suit half the time. As long as they get the powers right, they could be a civilian outfit. I don't give a damn. As long as the powers work.
That's ridiculous.
Well, again, I tell you, you need a way to spot that that's the hero coming to save me. Is your uniform?
She should look like Ironheart at the end of the day.
Right.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
If she's just Riri with.
He ain't got no powers. That's what I'm saying.
What Trayvon's saying he would be okay with, right? If we're trying to compare it, what Trayvon would be okay with is if she just had mech gloves in the boots and that's it. Trayvon would go, that's Ironheart.
No.
Her pre-suit.
When I am talking about, when I say this, I mean people that actually have abilities.
Yes, but I'm saying that's the equivalent of that. But that's it. That's the equivalent.
She's still using a suit, a version of a suit.
Yes.
You don't care about the suit, so she can look anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We don't agree with. That's what we're saying. We don't like that. You should have your uniform.
Okay.
But Trayvon,
adapting a character, I want to see the character adapting.
Of course.
Right, exactly. Now, if you want to go create a superhero that don't dress up, that just be in jeans and a t-shirt,
that's just
I told y'all.
Good.
Look, I told y'all how much I enjoyed. I didn't mind the Power Rangers when they were just using their powers without suits on. I didn't care.
But that wouldn't be the Power
you know what,
that's what I'm talking about.
You know who you need to talk about more, and you don't talk about her enough. You know who you need to talk about more? She's exactly what you're talking about. America Chavez. Jeans, jean jacket. There you go. Superpowers. There you go. That's the person you should applaud more.
I only seen her once.
No, but I'm saying that's who you should applaud more. That's your person. You know, that's the person. That's the look. Nothing. Her look is nothing. That's it. Nothing.
She's just giving her suits. That's what she's known for. The jeans.
Right. And I was cool that they went with that. But anyway, Trayvon, back to you.
Yes.
Your thoughts on the Ironheart trailer?
Oh, I thought it was great. I love the opening, like a escape room type of thing. Like you got to prove yourself to us. I'm like, what? Let her out of here. But she figured it out, of course, because she's real smart. Which I do like that they use that, to show that. I did think it was funny that Ryan Coogler is big as hell in this thing. He's the executive producer. He is not directing. It's so funny. They're doing the same thing like they did for what's that movie? Him. They're doing because
producer gets a bigger.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought that was funny. I'm excited to see this. I am not as I guess I didn't have a big of a jump to seeing the Hood use whatever their powers is because we saw it in What If, and so I saw like that, and I was like, oh, it didn't. If I didn't see What If and I saw that in the trailer, I was like, oh, cool, but I already saw it, so it's just like, oh, okay, happy for you. It didn't do nothing for me because I already seen it.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it just didn't do it. It just do it unless he does something different or something special. It didn't do nothing for me really.
We'll see.
I'm excited to see her and how she comes up with this suit. And I do agree. I do not like. I didn't. Okay, nobody attacked me for this. I did not like the suit she had in Wakanda Forever. I thought it was.
I agree.
Me too.
Yeah, I agree.
I hated it. So I was like, I really need something that's cool. The suits I've seen so far are not. They look like the suit that he had at the beginning of Iron Man.
Exactly.
The one he made.
Exactly
I don't need that to be her permanent thing.
Yeah.
I need to have something really, lit. These things ain't it yet. And I'm happy for her. I'm happy that they're finally doing something and showing this show because I honestly didn't know what was gonna happen. Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with this. It's a spin on I didn't think they were going to do. I didn't know they were going to do her down on her luck, get kicked out, needing shady help. I didn't know that's where they were going with it. So I'm excited to see her deal with that. Yeah.
I did love the nod to Tony Stark. I did love him saying, "You think you're the only genius to come out of MIT?" Like I love the nod to, "Hey, you're not the first we've had trouble with to come out of here."
I didn't even think about that. I honestly did not. Past her name, I didn't think about him at all. You also know that he is not my like favorite anyway. So it's like,
well, here's the thing. Bye. I like what they're doing with it because in the comics he was very much, more so like Jarvis, but he was her mentor. So I like that they're going a route. Right. I like that they're going the route of this is just her back against the wall. She's just using her own genius. There is no ties as far as we know to anything Stark. Outside of the concept of the suit, which I do hope they get a little bit more into that they didn't really get into in Wakanda Forever as to like if I'm a general viewer. How do you disconnect her and Iron Man for me? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to seeing how
I don't feel like you do. I mean,
no.
Visually, you can tell that's where she getting her inspiration from.
I know. Hear me out for a second. I'm saying that, like, how do you disconnect the fact that what she's doing isn't necessarily directly because of Stark? It's more so feeling like that's something she could do because she felt as though her intelligence level match.
Yeah,
right?
she felt like I can do it too.
Right. I'm trying to say, what are they going to showcase that showcases that those two never met? It was more so from afar that motivated her to do something like that and maybe fill the void once he died. Right? So how are you going to fill that in is what I'm interested to see how this show answers that. That's what I'm trying to say. I know that they're obviously connected by the idea of that. No, not fill Stark's void. I'm saying fill the void of being in her being in a suit. Obviously, is an homage to Stark. But why? What was it about him that motivated her? You said what, Joel?
I said those suits are obviously an homage to Stark.
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying, what about Stark is what motivated you? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what the connection is. That something Stark did motivated her enough to where once he died, she was just like, I could do that.
Or maybe something happens that motivates her. Maybe we just haven't seen it.
That's what I'm saying. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Maybe she was one of the people that got the grants that he gave out. Remember?
Maybe.
Yeah. Very true. Well, wait. I feel like Wakanda Forever spoke to that.
Wakanda Forever, they mentioned Stark, especially when she was building her shit, but I don't remember what this.
Right, because I could have sworn she was there on a scholarship.
It's possible.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Because she was definitely using Stark tech to.
Right.
do her shit.
She already had a suit. Yeah, she already had a piece of work.
She had like a exo suit.
Yeah.
Right.
It flew though.
It works.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
good flying. You know, apparently people were videoing, recording her.
I know Stark had to be in heaven, mad as hell, looking down, thinking that he cracked the code that no one else could. Shuri, not even trying, was just like, yeah, I can help you build that shit. What he did was pretty easy. It's no biggie. I created a whole herb from nothing, so building this suit with you, it's no biggie, Riri. We got this. Like Stark's like, God damn, man. I thought what I did was unique. It's like, no, not really. Not really. We got it. No problem. I can build it.
I mean, she ain't doing nanotech yet, so we'll see.
Well, she did a form of nanotech because remember, everyone kept comparing what Stark did in Infinity War to the Black Panther suit, where it just kind of collapsed onto him.
Just so happens they both figured it out.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, her suit so far. I haven't.
Oh, you mean Riri's? Yeah, well, Riri's too early on.
Riri is also not rich, so you gotta give her a little.
Right.
Sure.
You know?
Is she not? Oh no, Riri. Yeah, Riri. No, yeah, she's not rich. Yeah, I was thinking sure. I'm like, Shuri.
That's the whole point of this movie is she broke and she needs money to.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now that there's no Stark, you could say Shuri is probably the most rich person in the MCU.
I mean, there's probably other rich people.
As the Queen of Wakanda, she's easily the most richest person in the MCU.
I felt Riri a little proud because I definitely be like, Shuri girl, what's up? I need that money. Help me out. Like I would have definitely called her.
She's less likely to give you the money, knowing that you'll probably use it to try to recreate that suit. So Shuri's probably just like, nope.
So you can do
girl.
it, just not with any Wakandan.
Yeah.
No.
You can do it on your own. I don't give a fuck. But you won't do it by our help.
I don't know you well enough yet.
Oh, I did like that too. They were like my internship abroad. So,
right. Where she was alluding to Wakanda. Joel, what were your thoughts on this trailer?
It was fun. I really liked it. I enjoyed both suits. They're not her, but I do like the way they look. Visually, they're cool looking suits. Like you said, they're very clunky and big, and that's not more or less what we know her to be. But again, this is very early on, so these are just proto suits for her main suit, which hopefully is something we get at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know sooner or later. I'm sure they'll spoil it ahead of time.
Yeah.
The Hood, I do look forward to seeing the Hood and his story. What's up with how he got the Hood and what is his whole ordeal and idea like.
I saw people were hype about that online. I'm like, I have no idea who the Hood is, so I'm curious.
Yeah, he's not a bit. I mean, he became not popular. He's never really been popular, but he became a villain that got more focus last couple of years. More, not recently, but like a couple of years ago, they tried to push him and they kind of changed him to more of a magic character, and that's exactly what he is now. He's more dark magic.
Trayvon should like him.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
If he does more than just disappear,
I'm sure he will.
We'll go see.
Well,
that's not much.
I will.
What if he says he follows the Church of Wanda?
Oh my lord,
that'd be interesting.
I will update you that his whole thing is shooting guns. So.
Yeah, I mean that he also likes shooting his guns. Yes,
right.
Mystic guns. But yeah, he has a lot of. He could do other things, as far as I can tell. But I don't know. I don't know them well enough, so I can't come list them.
I have it Googled. I don't want to. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna leave it.
You want to be surprised?
Oh, yeah, I'll see if we can do something.
How shocking! But this cool picture. I like the poster because of the fact that it kind of gives you that the dark. I love the. It's also the saying every dream has a cost. It's like almost selling your soul to the devil type of shit. Mm-hmm. There's definitely some element of that in this story, which is pretty interesting. That they're not telling you all of that, but the trailer does give away there's some mysticism afoot over her doing what she's doing, and obviously her needing money, and it's gonna be very interesting how they tell this story in 6 episodes. So,
did y'all see that? It was like a real quick moment where they opened the door with they did some kind of magic to open the door. Did you? I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I was like, I wanted to go back so bad. My reaction, I said, no, let me keep going. Just let it go.
It looks cool. I know the trailer's fun.
Yeah, we'll see what. I'm saving certain feelings I have for letting the show play itself out, but looking at this poster answered a lot of questions for an if they, will they, won't they kind of questions most people were asking. I'll leave it at that. Jamie, what are your thoughts on this trailer?
I liked it. I think part of me has to like process it because I'm also similar to Trayvon. I was a little bit upset that it's taken this long to hear anything about Ironheart, especially since it's supposedly been done for years, plural.
Yeah.
So like I finally, happy that we're here. I agree. I'm not the biggest fan of the suit, but that seems to be a reoccurring thing with these Disney Plus shows. So I'm like, at the end of it, hopefully we'll get something that's a little bit slicker, a little bit cleaner. And what else? No, I'm just down to learn more about Riri. I feel like as a person, Riri is someone that I might not get along with, I guess. She seems like a little bit more abrasive in a sense, which in a way I admire because I'm definitely not saying I'm walking on eggshells with everybody in general, but usually I try not to rock the boat too much. So to have someone who's like, yeah, I don't give a damn. Like, I'm just going to do what I want. I'm like, yo, get out the boat. Stop. So I'm curious to see like how her character is going to grow on me. Because I do ultimately like that she advocates for herself. She's like, you know what? Like, I do recognize that I'm a talented person and like can build these suits and do these different things. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I do appreciate how humble you delivered that. But
if you watch the trailer, you could also.
What do you mean?
Riri definitely was saying in that trailer, "Nah, I'm the shit. I'm the shit." Okay. Me.
I don't need this fucking school.
Yeah. Riri said, I'm better than all of y'all. All right, let's make that clear. Okay.
I didn't need y'all to build this stuff, basically.
Right. I was chilling in Wakanda,
for me.
relaxing. I almost caused a global war off my genius, mind you.
No, but I get what you're saying, Jamie, about I'm very much I know I'm smart as shit, but I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let me just sit back and get this mic.
No. I thought about it. Like, there's been many times where, like, I've said the answer in the back of the class, nobody heard me, but then the kid next to me, he'll say it louder, and the teacher's like, "Hey, that's right," and the kid will look at me like, "I stole your shit." I'm like, "You motherfucker!" I'm like, "Good luck on the test, you dumb." But no, yeah, I do like that switch up, and that's why it's like, I feel like for people in general, you tend to like dislike things that's really like, oh, you actually want to be like that. And that's where I'm at, where I'm like, damn, why does Riri get to do that? I don't. It's like I easily could. Anytime
you want, Jamie. Anytime.
I'll start talking smack on all y'all.
Anytime you want. Anytime.
I should have. Yeah, I should have.
Lessons learned. It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, we'll wait and see. But once this drops, DJV, I might just bring back your favorite segment.
What's that?
Will Mephisto arrive?
Oh Lord.
It's back.
So I actually, what's the connection between Ironheart and Mephisto? Because I don't know.
There is none.
It might be one for the hood.
Oh no! Hold on. I see what you're asking now. I thought you meant comic wise. What's the connection? You meant the show wise.
Oh, honestly, any of it.
Look on the poster what it says. Every dream has a cause.
Not only that, if you listen to what the hood keeps saying in all of his lines in the trailer, he keeps alluding to he works for someone that wants to utilize what Riri can do. Now, I don't know who that someone is. Could be anyone. Knowing the MCU and how they fuck with my emotions, it could literally be Norman Osborn for all we know. We just know it's someone. This man ain't doing it himself. He ain't get the power himself. It looks like it was rewarded for doing bad shit. And he's trying to get Riri to help him do more bad shit. So, again, who's the master or the owner or the person pulling the puppet strings? We shall see. But I'm not stupid enough to believe that they're going to tell me this was all this kid's idea. Just randomly woke up one day, got the hood, and then just said, I'm going to do corrupt shit and then go get Riri. No, it seems like someone's pointing him in these directions. So,
Awesome.
and the first teaser trailer we got, remember he had the stuff on his back. It looked like it was killing him. That looks like someone is keeping him in his place, right?
Yeah.
So where it's
Look
like,
infected.
don't get out of don't get out of your lane. All right, stay right where I want you, or else. So again, that's just me throwing shit at a wall.
See, I was gonna say, because we haven't talked about Sharon Carter's character in a bit. I forget what the other name for it is.
Power Broker.
Power Broker, yeah. I'm like, we haven't talked about her in a little bit. I know that was one Jawan was not happy about either. So like, I don't know. Should we add her to the list?
No one the fact that we just had 2 straight movies where her character would have fit in perfectly, and the MCU was just like, we don't even care about her either. So then it leads to my point of why did we have to go through it? I
feel like she would have been an Armor Wars.
Power Broker is your
Armor Wars
Tom Holland Spider-Man for me.
It logically does not make sense that you went through all that trouble to do that, then gave us a Captain America movie, right, where we saw Bucky and Sam, no Power Broker, right? Would have made sense. Then you give us the Thunderbolts. That also would have made sense, and no Power Broker. So you just gave us a character you meant for us to not actually really give a fuck about. So then when I said I don't give a fuck about the character, got attacked for it, the MCU doesn't even give a fuck about her. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It was weak reveal. That's all it was.
It was, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not mad at it because they said it basically from the get-go that it was her. They said it without saying it.
That's why it was horrible.
That's
why it was horrible. Picture watching Scream, right? Where the movie starts, and let's say Benicio del Toro's in that movie, and that's the first person you see, and you go, "That's the killer." And then you go all the way through the movie, and that's exactly who the killer is. You wouldn't feel cheated? Like, what was the point?
I mean, some movies do that. Where they'll reveal to you, tell you who it is.
And
they'll do like misdirection sometimes. I wouldn't say that. It depends on how they.
At the beginning of the movie,
it's not like they told you. It's like, hey, you should pay attention to this person, you know. And if you miss the signs, you miss the signs.
Or it's like killing you the whole time. Can you just like, why can't y'all figure this out? Why don't y'all see it?
In the back of your head, like this person's always been here. It makes
sense. Y'all saying two separate things. You first started by saying the movie essentially lets you know who the killer is.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying person. Like they were explicitly like, yo, this is the killer.
If you sit down in the first 20 minutes and say to yourself, I got to figure it out, and then you're actually right, that's a bad movie.
See,
that's
how
not
you
a good
figure
movie.
out the first 20 minutes? Has something even happened yet? You know what I'm saying?
Jamie,
like it's just
you're just like, y'all kept screaming Sharon Carter's the Power Broker. In the first 3 episodes, y'all were saying that.
That's at least
it makes sense.
A couple hours of time, maybe.
I don't understand what I'm saying.
We had time to sit on it and be like, you know what? I do think that. I do agree with that assessment.
I don't know what I'm saying that's wrong. That's all I'm trying to say. You're saying exactly what I'm saying.
Listen. I'm telling you, like, if you watch the show and you said that early on, I'm like, well, that's what they want you to think. And then they ended up going. I would be so pissed. So I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you point in that direction and say, yeah, that's right?
I feel like the other part of it for me that doesn't frustrate me about this, it's like, it's what they wanted you to think. They didn't really give you anybody else to really suspect. I feel like enough evidence to suspect, but it wasn't like the biggest part. The whole show was a mess, honestly, but it wasn't the biggest part of the show. So it's like, you didn't like Carly Flag Smasher?
No. Let me tell you why.
Is she alive? What happened to her?
No, she. Oh no, she is.
Died.
Oh no, she died. She died.
Okay, yeah, I didn't remember that at all.
Your favorite character killed her. The thing, what I'm trying to say as to why nothing else bothered me the way that did is you spent most of the show sending Carly these threatening text messages like, if you don't do what I say, I'll kill you. And then when they meet up, it's like, hey, what's going on? It's not immediately, here's my gun, let me shoot you in the face. Like, it was more of a like, that's what I'm saying. What was any of that? What was that supposed to be? We're thinking like, oh, it's someone that's like, you crossed me, I'm gonna kill you. Then they meet up and it's kind of just like, nah. Hey, kid.
They're doing their best.
You couldn't really kill her right there.
No, I can't say it.
She ended up killing her right there. Why not? What was the difference? What was the
Because
difference?
Sam would be like, what the hell? It had to be,
More so than he said, "What the
way
hell?"
they
When he
did it.
walked in,
Maybe,
and she was already
you know,
shot.
she ain't trying to get her hands dirty. Like she gonna have someone else handle it, you know. But she
Well,
just letting you
she
know
did kill
personally.
She had to get hit.
Yes,
shot
but there
first.
was a reason for it. It wasn't like she just did it point blank. Sam would be like, what the hell are
Yeah,
you
she
doing?
was
Why would
defending
you do
herself.
that? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
but you guys are saying she couldn't just kill her. I'm saying
She
Sam wasn't
could.
in the room. She could have said anything. Carly was a bad guy. She could have said anything. She tried to kill me, so I shot her. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
We're
she
back,
not as
baby.
quick
The
on her feet
Mephisto
as you.
Menace returns. We bite. We bite.
I'm adding the
BJV.
power broker to it. Mephisto and the power broker.
No, we are not doing that. No. That's not fucking happening. All right, let's move on. Wait, Joel, you gave your thoughts on Ironheart, right? Okay.
I'm excited.
All right, we got our first official trailer for Superman.
Okay. I didn't know where we were going.
Another trailer Trayvon thought we weren't going to get, and that they were going to cancel that movie too.
No. If I knew one movie that was going to come out, it was going to be this white man. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Said, we didn't see anything about Superman. It's canceled.
We knew this. No, this white man was going to be on the screen. All of them.
That is an inside joke, guys. But no, so we did get our first official trailer for Superman. I'm going to keep it short and just pass it right to you, Trayvon. I loved it. That's really it. That's all I got.
No details.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really. I think I loved it for all the same reasons you guys loved it. I had nothing negative to say about it, and I can't wait for July 11th. That's really all I got.
Wow.
I don't want to dig too deep into trying to piece things together. I just want to go enjoy it. So I will piggyback off of you guys, but I don't have anything outside.
My first main thing that yes, Superman is in it. I'm happy for him, but the member of the Authority is there, so I'm very happy to see her.
Can you help me for a second?
Uh-huh.
Who's in this movie?
A member of the Authority. Very happy to see her.
No. The first character you said. Who's in this movie?
I mean, he on the poster. I mean, you see.
So Superman's in a Superman movie. Gotcha. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, but member of the Authority is there. That's the main point for me.
Gotcha.
So I'm very excited for her. And her blade hands or whatever she got going on. Very cool. Bring your friends.
Would you like to maybe give her a name?
I don't know her name. I just know she's part of the Authority. I know she got friends that I want to see.
Obviously, don't like her enough to know her.
I don't know if I could have much.
Y'all, we sent Trayvon at least 5 photos of like the figures with names on them, and hers was one of them. Was actually in 2 slides. Was in there.
What's
He
her
just
name?
sent us a video with them saying her name on it.
Yeah, I wasn't paying no mind to that. I was agreeing with him about the other part.
That's why watching the video, I'm like, they're all the same. They're all the same.
Insane.
What's her name? I don't know. Shit, I forgot.
Her in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
The engineer.
There you go. Yeah, happy for her. Yeah, so happy for her. The interview at the beginning was fun. I'm so excited to see her and her friends. Bring your friends. I'm playing. I'm joking. I'm very happy this movie is coming. It's gonna be fun. I have goddamn merch. I can prove it. Okay, I have merch. Okay, I'm very excited for this goddamn movie.
I got proof.
Okay, I'm very excited for this damn movie. It's gonna be fun. Well, now you do.
You've just got educated, DJ.
Now you do. That's the main thing I focused on when I found out more about this movie. I said, "Oh, she's in it. Oh yeah."
She might not be in the Authority yet in the movie, but in the comics.
Okay. Let's not do that to me. Okay.
I'm just saying. I don't know if she's in it yet. I don't know if they even exist yet. I just know.
Oh my god! Don't do that to me.
Well, no, this movie could be how the Authority is created.
This could be part of it. Yeah, it could be the beginning to that. He wouldn't put her in there for no reason. I might think.
Right.
That is correct.
But I also think he wouldn't push the project back if this movie plants seeds. I think it probably doesn't necessarily, and that's why he could push it. Is that?
Yeah, it's not like
just the first
you want me to disconnect?
Excuse me.
Never mind. You want me to disconnect from this call? No problem. Just let me enjoy. Okay?
know it's
the stars,
the
Apollo and Midnighter are coming. Okay, just let me have that.
All right. Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Relax.
There's an end credit scene. How about
They'll be there. They'll be there.
All right, let me have it. So yes, I'm very excited.
There are other characters on that team.
I don't know the other people. I don't know the other people. I don't at all, for real.
You don't want to know the other people.
I don't care.
Right, exactly.
Don't care.
Let's make
Get
sure
them a
we're
spin
clear
off.
here. Right.
But yeah, I did like. I hate Nathan Fillion's like hair, whatever he got going on. But that bitch slap, that back bitch slap was awesome. Love that. Give me that power.
Yeah,
I did enjoy that.
That was good.
Did enjoy that. He's fighting all these crazy ass monsters and shit. It's gonna be. This is gonna be a feast in IMAX. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing that I'm very excited for. I'm like, this is gonna be something to see.
Yeah, I might do that. I'll do Dolby one day and then IMAX the other.
Yeah, I definitely do Dolby opening because that's the closest one to me. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it.
Can I add something to something you said, Trayvon, before we pass it to Joel? When you mentioned Guy Gardner doing the slap, the one thing that I couldn't help but start to stress over is it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Seeing him utilize that power. The one thing that concerns me is, will it visually be a drop-off for the show? Or will they make sure that all that money that you spent to make that show goes into making sure that shit looks just as great as that shit just did for just that little bit we saw for Guy Gardner? That was the first thing I thought when I saw it, was y'all better match this shit.
Interesting.
Like, match it. I mean, like, verbatim match it.
They better.
You know?
They have no choice. For me, I will be judging. I will be judging.
They won't have the time, so here.
Yep. Because that was the first thing I thought. Because I'm like, it looks great. I can't wait till we see a better shot of him like extending his arm to see it come out of the ring. Because the way they did there is so fast, you don't see the connection.
I don't even think there is a connection. It's just I saw it glow, and then it was like,
right,
and then his head pops up.
But I don't know if, remember how when he showed the teaser, he had the shot of,
he went like this.
Yeah,
he shot on the
right.
No.
It was the beam.
Well, he shot on the glass. Remember,
yes,
he did
right.
the glass.
Yes.
So you saw the connection there.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I don't know if in that scene that we saw, because it was so quick, is that something that they're going to clean up and fix, or is that how it actually looks?
I don't know.
Is what I'm curious about. Because this would be the second time we're seeing a live action Green Lantern. So I don't know how James is visually going to construct how he's able to do things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, as long as I see the direct, like the chain extended to what comes out of the ring, I'm fine. But that did take me. I did step back a little bit when I saw that, because I'm like, it's so fast you don't really see it. As long as we see it, I'm good though. But Joel, your thoughts on Look Up?
Look Up, the movie.
The musical.
I like the movie, actually.
It was great. It was really good. Really, really good. I loved the whole beginning with Lois and Clark, the interview. The back and forth. The fact that she was able to incite emotion from him, even though he thought it was kind of going to be like an easy interview, and she kind of really went at him. And I think that says a lot about her, that she was not going to hold back regardless. That's why she like, kind of warned him. She didn't warn him, but she kind of.
He should have known better though.
He should, knowing her, he should have.
Right. Like, I was like, come on now. I
think what happened was, like, they've been in a relationship, or at least they've known each other now for a while. It's like, I didn't think she'd be such a, I'm like, why are you questioning me? You know it's not me. Like, what are you talking about?
She was like, I'm asking you what they would ask you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what it reminds me of? You know what it reminds me of, Joel? Remember in the Spider-Man game, Part 2? Remember when Peter started to transition into Black Spider-Man? Remember when Mary Jane was writing up that paper for the Daily Bugle?
Yeah.
Remember how she was just trying to do her job, but Peter took it like he was the enemy, and he's like, whoa, hey, motherfucker, all right? I'm not the enemy.
I know you're on here.
Yeah, I'm on your side. Remember this, please. And she's like, look, that's what J. Jonah Jameson wants. I got to give him what he wants.
He hates you. So
right. And I think what Lois is saying here is the people feel like this, right? So if the people feel like this, my job is to convey what they can't to you because they don't see you every day. Right. So I have to keep my journalistic integrity by asking you the hard-hitting questions. Right. And Clark is like, all right, as long as you know you don't get nothing tonight. You want to do this stupid shit. Keep playing. All right?
I also one thing I did say in my reaction that it was interesting was them like kissing in public like they look like. I really want to know where that happens. That part where I was like, isn't this a little too open? Yeah, I was like, it's a little too open.
That is scary. Where are they?
I'm like,
wrong with that, Trayvon? Is my question.
Because it gives away like who he is. Like you can't.
How?
Not necessarily.
What? So she in love with Superman.
It's gives him a weakness.
That too.
Yeah,
that's
I'm thinking of secret identity. That's what I'm
he's
thinking.
I'm like Superman could get with whoever. I'm like shit. Lois could be a cheater for all the people know, and they know she's with Clark.
Hold on. The part that you're confusing me, Trayvon, is you don't know that Clark and Lois are dating. We don't know that.
I'm talking about. Okay. Well,
no, you're saying if people see Superman with Lois, they'll know that Superman's Clark, and I'm saying how would they come to that conclusion?
My thing is, we don't know. Even if they are, we don't know if it's publicly known that they're dating.
Right.
At this point, if they see them kissing, they're gonna think they're dating, and like Jamie said, that could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Even though, oh my God, Lois, how could you cheat on Clark? He's such a nice guy. In the comics,
she is very much known as the person to go after if you want to get Superman's attention.
True, that is true. Even in other movies that happen, so it's like
and we do also know she does not have an immediate attraction to Clark. But she does have an immediate attraction to Superman.
It's the confidence.
And Superman is Clark's confidence. To as well as out. So, I compare it, Joel, to Black Cat and Spider-Man. Felicia had no interest in Peter. But the moment that man slapped on a mask, she started purring. She said, well, that's just a nod to her being Black Cat.
That was good. I like that. I like that.
That's how she was, though. He took off the mask. She was disgusted. Like,
she was
I'm not that ugly.
She was like, yikes, put that shit back on. But no, you guys made a great point that maybe it's a little foolish of Superman to necessarily do it in public. But again, I'll remind you, we don't know how long he's been Superman, but we do know it's early on.
We also don't know if anyone's there because we didn't see anybody.
That's also true. Right, that's also true.
I'm trying to think.
They were like, it looked like a train station, but like.
Was there a Superman movie, show, some kind of media where he kisses another woman?
Yes.
Outside of Lois? I feel like I remember that, but I'm not 100%.
Yes, there was. It was.
And then Lois is like, what the hell?
Even like, while they were dating?
I think.
Or as single. Because single Clark has
I feel like it's either Superman or Spider-Man that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember which one.
Because he's definitely gotten some action in other ass.
I feel like
he never cheated on her, if that's true.
Okay. Because I feel like I can't remember what superhero it was or what the version was, but it was like somebody kissed like a random civilian because they're like they had the hots for them, and then like their actual girlfriend was like, "What the hell was that?" It's like, "Hey, like I trying to keep my super secret identity,
Jamie,
whatever."
I
So
know exactly what you're talking about.
What was it?
You're talking about Spider-Man 3.
Oh, okay.
He was giving the to the city, so he
I was like, "Is he Superman?"
And then Mary Jane was just like, "Bitch, I'm right here in the crowd. The fuck?"
Yeah.
Peter was like, "It's just for show." And she's like, "No, I don't like that. I'm gonna go sleep with Harry now." Yeah, that was Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm like, as you're talking, I'm like, it's not Superman. That's Spider-Man. Yeah, that's.
I was like, 3. It's one of the two. I couldn't remember.
That's not something I could ever see Clark doing ever, no matter what. Clark would go, "Oh no, I'll shake your hand."
Sorry.
But Peter, remember, think about this, Jamie. Peter went from literally wanting action but getting none to now having 2 hot chicks fawning after you.
4.
Man was gonna take it. Take it.
Spider-Man gets more tail than you would imagine for a nerd. You know, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Money was Spider-Man.
Man's physically strong, but not emotionally. All right, man's got his weaknesses. Okay. Yeah. But go ahead, Joel. The rest of your thoughts on that, Joel.
Anyway, that was a good scene. There were so many scenes. They're fighting the kaiju. They're actually showing his personality. He seems to be more vibrant, if that makes sense. Upside down because another girl is crazy. That's fair. Yes.
I have a. So okay, obviously I've been seeing people say that same thing you just said about the personality thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all like Henry Cavill was mute. Like I just don't
No.
understand.
It's not that. It's that he did it very monotone, if that makes sense. It's very one note. Whereas this guy, he expresses himself differently. That's all. It's all how they express themselves. Whereas kind of just is one note. Only time you saw him really express emotion is when he's really angry and not himself anymore.
And they do something in this that's just like the small things that make the difference between Clark and Superman really vibrant. If you notice, Clark kind of like contorts his body differently than Superman, and his voice changes from Clark to Superman. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's just those small things that maybe wasn't fully thought through in the last iteration that we're starting to get more in this one. It's not a knock to Henry.
They didn't separate Clark and Superman enough in those movies. They were very similar. Like Clark didn't act. They were the same person basically.
But also remember the biggest fault that we had in the last iteration is that the man becomes Superman like that and then joins the Justice League like that. So you don't really get much time to really properly,
he didn't get a lot of time to do a lot of things.
He deserved a solo movie.
He rose, died, and rose again. Almost like Jesus Christ.
He should have had a solo movie somewhere.
Yeah, no, we don't disagree, but those are the things we're saying. Nothing to do with Henry. That's more so upper management.
That's rushing it. That's all. He didn't really get a chance to be Clark. And that's the same thing with Lois and Clark in their version. Like, they didn't really have a lot of time to be Lois and Clark. You didn't really get to see Lois do what Lois needs to do in those movies. They didn't give her enough of that. You got a little bit of it, but you didn't get.
The only time you saw it was like the beginning of the movie when Jimmy died. It's when she did most of her journalism.
Like when she's out there in they're at in the Arctic or whatever, when the ship, she's getting really tested with. I like that. See, that was very Lois-y. But again, they didn't do much. We shouldn't get a lot of time to do that. Because you didn't really see her get to work much. Same with Clark. We got to see him do a little bit of the planet in BVS, but not a lot of, and very much he didn't play him very different than he played Superman. That's really the difference. Whereas this version, you already can see how different. Look how silly he is as Clark. Like him and Jimmy celebrating on a phone call and jumping up and down. It's just different. The way he portrays it, that's just how he's doing it. Seeing the Justice Gang as they're being called. Like I love that one scene with the three of them. And Maxwell.
Bro, by the way, bravo to Mr. Terrific's chair. He looked like a badass up there.
I was wondering what they were doing. Because I remember seeing that the set photos of that. I'm like, what the fuck is he on? Like, what is that thing? But now we see him sitting on. Oh, it's like an air chair. It's weird. With the T-spheres floating around. And that was pretty cool. And that was the best of Guy Gardner's look to me. Isn't that one shot in this trailer where he looks standing? I'm like, that's cool. Hawkgirl looks great. I can't wait to see more of them together. The three, they're dynamic. We haven't heard Mr. Terrific talk, have we? I don't think so.
No.
We've heard him once. Cheer.
Well, you heard him talking to
the dog.
Yeah.
In the commercial.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. That's the only time you hear it. That's fair.
Is I have a question about Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
He seems like he's very
asshole.
Well, that confident with it though. He's just like
no.
Like, is that him?
The right word is asshole.
Well, I'm saying, but I enjoy that because he's just like he does that, and he's like he just don't give a shit. He's like, fuck y'all.
That's comic.
I enjoy that.
This much Guy Gardner, the way that you saw him in this trailer is exactly how he is.
Okay, I just hate the hair.
He is very confident.
That's all I hate.
That's the point where his hair in the comic too.
That is.
I mean, it looks a little neater.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, it's a little cleaner. But aside that, it looks maybe it's a little straight. I'm sorry. How they call it? Shaved. A little more. That's about it. So that's it. But very much that's very much what he looks like. Okay. Even though it's weird because Nathan Fillion never thought of his guy. But he kind of has his face. It's kind of odd.
He always screamed that whole Hal to me.
Yeah. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he voiced Hal, one of the animated movies. Right. So for a long time, he was a fan favorite to be Hal.
Okay.
Long time, and then when he got announced to be Green Lantern, I'm like, no fucking way, Guy Gardner. What the fuck? I was like, holy shit. But he is, and look, that whole waving of the hand thing, very much a Guy Gardner move. That screams Guy Gardner. He's very much an asshole. Yes, he thinks he's the best.
So he's more things like that versus like building things like weapons.
He is the one that will probably give you the finger with your.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Well, remember, Trayvon. Remember, the Green Lantern Corps, their power is all the same. The only difference is how you utilize said power. So you seeing an example of him just flicking people away is very important, because when you see Hal, knowing how old he is, you'll see more things that are more appropriate for the moment and probably more weapon based. I'm not weapon based. Sorry, for John, you're going to see more weapon based because that's his background.
Honestly,
for Hal, you're going to see things like
the basic shit. Like you probably would use a bat,
baseball bat.
He's not the most imaginative. Is Hal.
Yeah,
he
probably would have swung a bat instead of flicked them.
Golf club.
Yeah, everyone's different.
Actually, I'll tell you this, Trayvon. You'll probably see the coolest from Guy, John, and if they ever do Kyle. Kyle is the most imaginative of the right. Yeah. So you're gonna see the most from Kyle, but you'll probably see the coolest right now of who we have right now between Guy and
Guy. You'll get probably the funniest stuff because it'll probably the most ridiculous.
John, you'll get the coolest stuff.
He's on the Looney Tunes.
John was an architect too, so he was a Marine, but he was also in the comics was an architect, so he's more detailed. And then Hal's very basic.
Very basic. Like right now, if a villain picked you up and dropped you in the air, right? Hal's gonna grab you with like a catcher's mitt, like a baseball catcher's mitt. Like that's where his mindset is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Circles.
Guy might put like a
race
mattress.
Cars.
Right. Guy might put like a mattress to be funny. Hal would be like a baseball glove.
Like jets, because Hal's a pilot, so he'll probably use a jet or something like that. You know, stuff like that.
A jet to cat, dang, I might die.
Not to catch, but like in his set. Yeah, because like if there's a certain comic book, I forget which one it is. Can't remember off the top of my head, but they show how every lantern of the main human lanterns, how they all have the same ring, but they all use them different. How all their things look different. I don't know if they're gonna do that in this because we have.
I hope so.
But like that's
keep that up.
Shit. It should. Like I don't know how you do aliens because aliens are not us. So how do you? What the fuck? You just making shit up now. Like I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Scholastic still be making the nerdy books anymore, but it was like I don't even know. No, I think I do know why. I had like a Green Lantern book that talked about all the different rings, like the people that had them and stuff. I wonder if I still have that. Because that was pretty cool. Granted, do I remember much from that? No, I mostly looked at the pictures, but I thought it was epic.
That's how it starts when you start reading and you get curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, Green Lanterns are cool. I can't wait for the Lantern show. Like
I really like John. John was cool.
I'm probably gonna. Yeah. Like anyway, moving on to the movie. Where were we?
We were talking about right after the slap.
We were at the slap. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I got to. Fucking. They got fucking Superman in the cage. And it looks like Metamorpho because you got like a full. Well, he's sitting down, but we got the full shot of Metamorpho.
Whatever he's doing.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he can create his hand is kryptonite. If you look on the left hand, that's how Superman's weakened in the cage. That makes sense because they're beating the shit out of him. You're like, how are they doing it? Well, that's how.
Okay.
And then notice that Metamorpho's legs are switched. In the comic books, the bloody leg is the right leg, I believe. And
see,
whatever. It's all
that was gonna be my comment. I was like, he's still getting beat up in this trailer, so I'm interested to see like how that's happening. But if it's his kryptonite, that makes sense.
Yeah, because later on, remember when he breaks the cage?
Mm-hmm.
You could see like it looks like it's bright as fuck because it looks like he's like maybe recreating the sun. So that's how he powered him up. You know what I mean? Then he gets recharged.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
If you try to piece things together. Remember the extended clip you got where Crypto takes Superman back to the fortress and they grab him and he's getting the sun. Yeah. That looks like it's right after the football field fight where he's fighting the Engineer and Ultraman. Because you see Mr. Terrific just knocked out cold on the football field. Yeah. So it looks like maybe that's where Superman gets his ass completely beat.
Getting jumped there, yeah.
Right. I mean, you can either piece it two ways. Either that's where Ultraman and Engineer stop Superman and bring him in, or that's when they whoop his ass and he escapes to the Fortress of Solitude, but doesn't quite make it there yet. It could be either or.
That could be it.
Well, he gotta make it there because we see him get healed by those robots.
No. I mean, he doesn't make it into the fort. He has to get dragged there. I mean, he makes it near it, but he doesn't make it in it. You know what I'm saying? He's short of it.
I wonder. Yeah, that's a good point because I do wonder how timeline because they do break into the fortress,
right?
You know that,
and the robots are cut up. So
the robots get fucked up. So like that has to happen before he gets. After he gets healed up.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's a fight with the hammer, Baravia, whatever the fuck that is. Mm-hmm. That's a big fight, and then the fight in the kaiju. Bro, this guy's gonna be fighting a lot of fucking people.
And Joel, not enough people are talking about a scene where it looks like Hulk Girl's throwing Lex out of a window.
Yeah, it looks like he like grabs him and flies him out the window, like crashes right through the window, which is interesting. Because it's funny because it looks like Lex now, but I swear I saw a picture. It looked like a dude with white hair before. So maybe
it could be. Yeah, it could be. I mean, you know how they love to do a bait and switch. So.
That's fair. So maybe because I remember the one. I think it was part of the trailer or a picture that it looked like he had white hair in that shot. But maybe it's a different. Maybe she's done it twice with two different people. I have no idea.
she's more impulsive than Superman. She's probably like, I'm just gonna kill this fucker.
Oh, apparently she is very. She's
feisty.
She is feisty. There you go. She's small but feisty. Yeah.
Napoleon complex.
There you go. Well, yeah. Well, she's not normally short, but they're gonna play up to the fact that she's short in this, I guess. She's gonna be like this feisty.
Did you see the Peacemaker trailer, Jamie?
I don't think so.
Okay. Her a little bit of her personality in there. That's why I said.
Did you see? Jamie, we're gonna talk about that next. Watch it.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, watch
Is that what you're talking about, Trayvon? Her big butt?
No, just her personality.
But that's the scene. That's the scene.
Yeah.
My assets.
Yeah, she said.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was funny scene. But
I think I did see this, but I'm gonna rewatch it before we talk about it.
All right. Okay. I'm almost done with the thing anyway. But what I did notice, which is pretty cool, it's some weird. We'll talk about it more in Peacemaker, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's pocket dimensions in this movie because there's some crazy shit going on in wherever Lex is holding all those like species or his lab, wherever his lab is at. That might be something there because there's like the scene where he's flying. I think he's fighting. Might be the Hammer in some type of weird weightless space, and I don't think that's space. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's somewhere else. So like, there's some shit going on there that I can't explain.
Don't forget this too, Joel. There's a scene where Mr. Terrific is with Lane, and that does not look like
and
her.
That's exactly in the same spot. Like, because we saw pictures of the Hammer Bravia coming out of that in I think in the behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that you see Mr. Terrific and Lois coming out of.
Pocket dimensions aren't far-fetched. They did it in Peacemaker, so
exactly. That's why we're going to get to that.
That's why Joel was saying that's probably more connected than you think.
Right.
Well, I'm saying they did the first season though, not even like
they did.
Just now.
Probably, maybe I don't know if that was on purpose. He's utilizing it now.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, for real, pocket dimensions are going to be how we explain a lot of shit. Anyway, that was cool. And then the final shot, right? The shot where he flies all the way up, and we just found out he was cannonballing down. I thought he was falling backwards because the way they looked, but apparently he's cannonballs down to something. I'm not sure who he's cannonballing, but that's gonna hurt. But yeah, that trailer was fucking.
Don't miss. You're gonna fuck the earth up.
He's gonna hit. It's gonna create a crater if he misses. Damn. I think
knock it off his axis.
There was some cool. There was one shot where Mr. Terrific's coming off the ship, where it looks like he's like controlling the T-spheres with his hands. He's like fucking doing some ninjutsu shit. I thought that was cool. I want to see more of that. I really can't wait to see how he controls his T-spheres. That does look like he's using his hands, which is pretty dope. I do look forward to seeing how they use Mr. Terrific in general, because like I've always had it in my head how they did it, but it looks like it's similar to what I thought, but he's definitely expanding on it, which is cool.
I would know it's gonna be a lot better than what they did. They tried. Or the CW. They tried.
Not hard enough.
They did. They gave him an afro. That's what they fucking did.
Yeah, that's what my budget went to. It was whoever had to braid his goddamn hair and take it out every day.
That's what it was.
At least he was gay though. That's what I like.
He was.
He was super gay. You know. Two things, Jamie. As I pass it to you, I love the hey, buddy, look up here line. I love that. And then he just takes off. I'm like, I'm going to fucking love this super. He's going to make me cry. I swear to God. And I love the. Good, Trevor.
He know about to say this. So it's so ignorant. Okay, this is ignorant of me for that part. I was like, what were they looking at? Were they looking?
He was focusing on the
I know, but I couldn't help but think it. I couldn't help but think. I was like,
so you think kaiju monsters is taking time out of his precious day to go? Look at that Superman.
I know who he was talking to.
That ball.
I know who he was talking to.
So this is the Superman they've been talking about.
First of all, how could he even tell from that distance?
Only Trayvon.
It's the way he holds it, the way he carries himself.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. Only Trayvon.
I will be looking down there during the movie. I will.
A mythical creature and say, no. That mythical creature is part of the gay community. He's one of us. He's one of us. Now we were thinking the
that
same
might
thing.
not even be part of the gay community. It could just be like, "Yo, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, man, what you doing? Up here, my eyes are up here."
There's something clinically wrong with everyone here on this call. And the other line
we were
that
unhealthy and unstable once upon a time.
Well, were not me though. I was just here much ado about nothing. No, the other line that I loved was less about it being delivered at the moment and more so what I'm hopeful to see in the long run. I loved when Ma Kent was just like, I dusted off your shoes. I can go get them. And then he just get ready to spring into action. What I loved about it was less that comic moment. It was more so how important Ma and Pa Kent are going to be and how I can't wait to see how Kara figures into all that. That was the thing, because you never really get to see family with Superman, right? So I'm like, that was the thing that warmed my heart the most, was how much he loves his mom and his dad, and we get to actually see them stick around, and then how you incorporate Kara into it. Has Kara already met them? Will Kara meet them for the first? Like, I'm just excited about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was living with them, and she's just not there at the time. And
yeah, that's fair.
You see her later,
because
again, it looks like he gets his ass up again and goes back to his house and recovers instead.
Actually, you know what I just realized, Joel? Do you want to know why you're gonna have to connect the dot to Kara in this movie?
Because the dog.
Kara also has crypto. Yeah, so you need to know, how does crypto? Like, maybe she goes to take him for a walk one day and gets sucked into some crazy ass shit. Like I'm just trying to picture how this is gonna work.
Yeah, she took the dog with her to space in the comic.
Right.
Because I forgot what it's her birthday. That's what it was. She wanted to go out, and I think it was her 17th or 21st birthday. I forget exactly what it was. But that's what it was, and I forget why she had the dog with her. She just did. She was watching some shit. And then shit goes down.
You know what I could see? I could see, because I thought there was a very important line that could lend to something like that, Joel. I love when Lois said in the trailer, "Ooh, so you have a dog?" So I could see Lois and Clark wanting to go maybe do something romantic together. And Clark is like, "Kara, watch Crypto.
You gotta watch the dog.
You gotta watch Crypto." But here's the thing. It's less likely that the actors playing Ma and Pa Kent are in Supergirl, because you wouldn't need to hide that. It's more likely you're hiding Supergirl and Superman, because it's probably like an end credit scene that leads to Supergirl. But you have to explain how she has a dog that we just saw in Superman, but we never saw Supergirl.
Yeah, and that could be.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think those are the connected dots for. That's probably one of the two end credit scenes we'll probably get for this movie.
End credit scene, or one of the end scenes at least, because you said, like, they have to explain how he goes from point A to point B, and he was a big part of that story if you're gonna do it correctly.
Could you picture Lois meeting Crypto for the first time, and then Kara, and go, "Where the fuck do these people keep coming from, Clark? Is there more? Like, is
it's an invasion?"
Clark's like, "Yes, this is it till Zod."
There's a whole thing between Crypto and Lois in the comics. They have fighting for his attention.
Yes. Which is why I love the shot of him just when she asked him, it goes to the shot of Crypto just laying on his chest, and I'm like, James did such a great job with that. I can't wait to see how Kara fits into all this.
Fair. I mean, that's the one thing they haven't talked about. That it's been spoiled up and down, but that's the only thing we haven't seen in the trailers, which they probably won't. That'll be the big thing. That she's in it somewhere. She has to, and the only reason I believe that is because she's casted, and he wouldn't have casted her otherwise.
Not that early on.
That's what I'm saying.
Before we knew anything about a movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She got casted. She got casted before the director got attached. So
right. And she got casted around the start of production of this movie.
I was a little later, but yeah, it was still early on. So the point where it was like, duh, like she's in it somewhere. And I think someone announced it, and I think one of the trades by accident. Like, blah, blah, blah.
They did. It was Hollywood Reporter. It was in their article, but
You'll
I
see
mean,
her in Superman first. I'm like, oh,
yeah, you can kind of take that as however you may, but
hearsay.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. And then in the trailer, it sounded like Lex was president and fucking Flag Jr. Flag Senior was Secretary of Defense, but that's not the case. That's just the way it was edited. Apparently, Flag Senior is the head of Argus, as you'll see in Peacemaker, and that will be explained in Peacemaker. And he just works with the Secretary of Defense, who's a different character. And then you have, and we don't know they didn't mention who the president is, but it's not Lex.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get any more into that, I'll save that for Peacemaker. Jamie, what were your thoughts on Superman trailer?
I liked it. I watched it while I was on break at work, and I don't think it fully soaked in because it's like other things happening around me. So watching it just now, even though y'all were talking, I was tuning y'all out. And I was like, oh, this I'm really interested to see how this comes together. I think no, I don't think this podcast existed when I said this, so I'm gonna say it again. When watching like my Adventures of Superman, I really enjoyed the show. I actually need to go back and finish season 2, or season 3. I forget which one it is. I really enjoyed getting to see Superman's personality, like what Joel mentioned earlier, and just like more aspects of like who he is as a person, like how he likes to do things, different things like that, both like Clark and Superman side, because like everybody knows about Superman, but I feel like we don't get a lot of Clark, so it's cool to see like the Clark side of things too. I really excited for Crypto. I loved watching the Crypto Superdog cartoon as a kid, and we have not seen barely any of him since I think he was in Super Pets, but that's about it. So I'm excited to have more Crypto, especially like in a scenario where Superman and Crypto are together, to see what that dynamic is like. So far from what I'm thinking of in the trailer, like we don't see Crypto in the same place as Superman when he's like fighting people or like whatever it might be. And I don't know if that's just like, that's just how it happened to be how like the cut laid out, and maybe Crypto comes back like a moment later or whatever it is. But I hope that they do have some scenes together where they're like fighting or I don't know, whatever their dynamic is. Oh, say that again?
Is it tag teaming together?
Yeah. That would be cool.
Fun, actually.
Like Rocket and Groot.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
You're in Crypto.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has eye beams. That's what I want to know.
He should.
I think he should.
Crypto?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think he should.
Crypto has just about as much as Superman has.
That'd be
at least
cool.
the basics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knows how to blow, but he can.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. So that would be cool to see. I'm like, I think y'all covered everything else. But yeah, Crypto for me, I think it's gonna be special, and getting to see more of Clark and Lois. That scene, I was like, ooh, that's spicy. I want to see more.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
I was proud of that scene because sometimes people they underestimate Lois Lane.
I think I read that was their what is it called? Chemistry.
I heard. I saw that too.
That was their first scene they did together, apparently. So.
Interesting.
That was a nice way to start the trailer. Then like that's what got them their jobs.
Yep. All right, so we used that. Pop right on over to Peacemaker. We got our first official trailer for Peacemaker that drops in August. Um, Very enjoyable trailer. I don't know who Isabella's agent is, but he might be agent of the year. He's up there for sure. To land Last of Us, Superman, Peacemaker. That's a nice little three to kick off 2025.
It's a hell of a
nice
year, yeah.
Three.
Yeah.
That's like a Pedro Pascal trajectory. Like that's exactly what he did.
He's jealous of her. I'm like, this is my schedule,
right? Look out, she'll be in Star Wars soon. This is a very fun trailer. I had a lot of fun with this trailer. A lot of questions that I gotta wait for the show to answer. Like where and how does it connect? Because we know what it used to connect with. We have our theories on how it connects, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they piece everything together. The comment I was going to make for Superman that I'll make for Peacemaker is I am very curious because we see the position Rick Flag Sr. has. Mm-hmm. Now, the one confusing thing is in Creature Commandos, Amanda Waller was very much still there and in charge. Mm-hmm. Then you go to Superman, she is no longer in charge. Then you go to Peacemaker, she is also no longer in charge. So I'm assuming Creature Commandos is before season 1 of Peacemaker. Well, yes. Not before, in between season 1 of Peacemaker.
I think it's before Superman.
Because remember, it's not until the finale of Peacemaker that Waller gets fired. So it's whatever happens to Creature Commandos is happening in the middle of season 1 of Peacemaker.
What?
All right, hear what I'm saying. Season 1 of Peacemaker ends with Amanda Waller being fired.
Yes.
So Creature Commandos has to take place during the events of season 1, not after season 1, because Amanda Waller is still very much running shit.
They just defunded. What's it called? Task Force X.
Right, but I'm saying it does not look like she holds a position of power over Rick Flag Sr. in Superman or
Superman.
Peacemaker.
Yes,
right.
It does.
So I'm saying that's why I think Creature Commandos is before the ending of season 1 of Peacemaker.
I don't, because they talk about what happened at the end of season 1 of Peacemaker. In the beginning, Creature Commandos.
Oh, that is right. And I'm a very confused boy. What fucking position does she have?
We don't. Well, that's the thing. She was in charge of Task Force S, and I guess she was in charge of Argus in general. And she
was answering to her. That's why I'm confused.
He was, and the thing they haven't explained it yet. He said they're going to explain what happened in Peacemaker season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they haven't explained it yet.
Okay, gotcha.
But she was in charge, and so as you saw in Superman, he'll be already in charge of Argus. And you're like, we don't know what happened, when that changed. And then
I assume Amanda Waller probably says, hey, the less I'm in the light, the more dirty shit I can do.
She may have stepped out. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
You take it, do all the nice, brave hero shit, the noble shit. I'm going to do the dark shit from behind the shadows.
And we know she's getting her own show. So it's not like...
Right. Okay, so that's what was confusing me. That's why I said I'll save it for Peacemaker. But outside of that, Peacemaker looks awesome. I can't wait. Joel, your thoughts on Peacemaker?
Yeah. I was not expecting it to start the way it did with saying Peacemaker auditioning for the Justice game right off the bat. And that whole scene was hysterical. We got our first look at
girl.
Maxwell Lord?
No, it's not. Maxwell Lord.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord.
Oh, that's who they was playing.
Yes. He's playing Maxwell Lord. So we got our first look at Maxwell Lord with Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl interviewing apparently people for the gang. I guess they're expanding on it.
So he's funding it.
He's funding it. Yeah, I mean we've kind of known that he's been funding it because he's also his name is also on the baseball field. In Metropolis, so he's got money, obviously.
And we talked about this in regards to their matching uniforms.
Yeah, exactly, because that's his logo that they wear on their chest, and it's very. I'll let Justice League International because that's kind of what he did in Justice League. Maxwell Lord was he funded that team. So it's very similar to that, what they did there. So I think that's what they're going to end up being is JLI. I don't know if that's what they're going to call it. That's why they're calling him the JG. But we'll see, because obviously we're not there yet. But I'm assuming, I don't know if Mr. Terrific is still with the team or he's just not there. He could be either one. He could be busy man, right? Peacemaker. I mean, I think they obviously showed us a lot of different scenes, all out of order to fuck with us, obviously, because it looks like everything they expected to be things to change because they saved the world, but obviously nothing's really changed at all, and they're kind of a lot of them are disappointed. Obviously, there's like trouble between Adebayo and her lover. I forgot her name. I forget her name. Can't remember her wife.
Yeah, her girlfriend.
Yeah, her girlfriend. So like I know there's issues there because she's like living in a hotel. Looks like we will be getting Economos back. Not that we didn't know that. Looks like Harcourt is having anger issues to an nth level.
Toxic male masculinity.
Yeah, toxic masculinity or some shit for a woman. They're like, what? Right. Does that even make sense? What else did they show? We saw the Jelani in underwear drinking liquor. Weird. Odd shots. But he's always fun because he's fucking weird. That the biggest thing for us there, because they showed a couple scenes that we just can't really figure out what's going on. But the biggest shit was the end. Obviously, where they look like they enter the pocket dimension again, which they show it more than one time, and it looks like some of them, more of them, are in one of the scenes. Like I think I saw him and I think it was Peacemaker and Adebayo running around together inside there, and some other shot. And then of course the end scene is him in underwear again, tighty whities. Why is it tighty? Man loves his tighty whities. Opens the door.
That's for me.
I get it. He opens the door, and there's a blue. Fucking what's his name? The White Dragon. The White Dragon's mask is blue in this whatever they walked into. It's not a red dragon mask. It's a blue dragon mask. And another Peacemaker shows up behind them. So like again, just based off of that scene, because we also see him in other scenes in the trailer in that suit. So it's like, what happens? Do they switch spots? Does he kill one? Does one kill the other? Because I know AJ was saying that he thinks that that's the DCU world's Peacemaker, and that Peacemaker kills the original the DCU Peacemaker. Everyone thinks it's the opposite. Well, not everyone, but at least I thought it was the opposite. I thought that he comes into the DCU world and kills that Peacemaker and takes the suit. That's what I thought, and tries to take over his life. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on, and that's more or less how they're going to explain why it's different. Like things are similar but different because this universe is slightly different than that universe. And blam, that's how they're gonna explain it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is gonna be a huge 1-2 punch for them. Superman and then Peacemaker. So
that's damn straight. What's it? July and August.
August. Yep. Back to back.
Bang bang.
Trayvon, outside of us having to tell you to keep your eyes up with this trailer, right? What were your thoughts on this Peacemaker trailer?
Vigilante and Peacemaker look beautiful in tidy whities. Anyway,
that's why we said keep your eyes up.
No. I'm gonna mention that right off the bat because that's the main thing I focused on. But
it's three things.
The only thing.
The main thing I said.
The only thing you focused on.
I thought that was great. I thought that was fun. This show is just weird and fun, and him going to ask to be on the Justice Gang just kind of reminds me of when Deadpool went to Kevin Feige's office and got happy. That's what it reminded me of. And I think that's always fun. Like that's always
thing.
Yeah. So and the fact that they didn't turn the mic off and they were talking about that shit, I was like, this is great. She didn't give a damn. She was just like, where my food at? Like my ass getting big. She give a damn what he was talking about.
See though, should we just take her word for it, or do you think they'll show?
You'll see it. I'm sure you'll see it.
Okay, good.
Just for scientific
purposes.
But yeah,
I want to be a liar now.
And you're telling Trayvon to look up.
I didn't get to look at it. She wasn't in tidy whities. We're not blessed like Trayvon is. Okay, we don't get cool.
You're blessed all the time.
Okay,
not at all.
Most of the time. most of the time.
All
Not
the
at all.
time.
Not
He
at
took
all.
all the fun stuff away. We give it to you
Yeah,
guys.
not at all. Yeah,
Good.
exactly.
They should. We deserve.
We deserve.
We do.
We do.
That brother's starving over there. You good, Trayvon?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Let me have these
starving
things.
for it. All right, just relax. They're just pranks.
Starving for it. You asking for this woman to stand up out of her chair.
She has to walk away, does she not? She's just gonna sit there forever in the void of space.
She might just fly away.
Well, she would still have to get up to do it. I mean,
she don't have to turn around. She just get up.
Take the chair with her.
She got to extend those wings. You got to get up.
Do you see how hard y'all got to fight for me to not have anything? How about John
You
Cena?
have things all the time.
He puts on pants, Trayvon. How about that? How about that?
Apparently, this man likes to be naked, and they're taking advantage of it.
Okay, well, Isabella doesn't. So again, we're not blessed. You are. All right?
TJV, you are not valid.
Right, exactly. No,
saying.
y'all. Look, y'all have had all these years.
Us straights are suffering.
You should.
Y'all, no one
all
ever.
you straights have been living all these years. Now it's time for the meat.
It's time for me.
It's time for the meat. It's crazy.
No, this is how war began in X-Men.
And guess who's gonna win?
Began.
I'm the ruthless motherfucker. I'm gonna win.
You ain't got
Y'all are
powers,
soft. Y'all are soft, getting what y'all want all the time. We got to get out the mud.
That's
We
right.
take y'all out.
Hold on. Are you a Trayvon's team here? What is happening?
Oh,
Listen,
like men,
you grouped me with them, so I am, I guess.
You want to see the men too? What you mean?
You said no straights, but I wasn't included in that, so you already put me with Trayvon.
No, but hold on. Y'all not fighting the same fight. Hold on, because now I'm getting confused. Hold on.
No,
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Different.
Hold on.
I'm with the side for the meat. That's
That's
all
right.
you need to know.
That's right.
That's all you need to know.
Right.
No,
That's
show's
right.
over. No. No.
That's
No.
right.
Can I leave studio? I don't have anything else to say.
He's on the side with the meat. I'm like, what?
I'm done. I don't ever want to hear that in my ears again. That was what?
Listen, you
Trayvon's
asked.
never
I
said
had to
anything
clarify.
crazy. I did not ask. I just
You
wanted to
did.
make
You
sure.
asked if I was on your side.
I've said the D word plenty of times. So yeah, I mean the same thing.
No, Jamie putting that in sequence was very disturbing.
I had to let y'all know.
I think it was perfectly done. But look, this show is gonna be fun. It's gonna be weird. I don't know what exactly it's gonna be about. I feel like it's just gonna be about mainly explaining. This is why it's still here. This is why it's in this new universe or whatever. That was the main thing I kept complaining about. I was like, so he canceled everything else, but this. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm done. I'm over that now. Okay. But I'm just saying.
Are you? Doesn't sound like it.
I'm over it because they're going to explain it, and I can't do nothing about it. So, whatever.
I mean, that should have been your attitude from the day it happened.
No. Bullying works. Most of the time. But anyway, so yeah, I'm excited to see.
Children are watching.
I do like Arby's. I do like Arby's. Don't play about Arby's.
I'm talking about bullying when it came to Ironheart.
Expensive, man.
Is it?
Arby's, yeah.
You think so?
Expensive? Fuck, I think so. I'm sorry, you ain't rich.
Well
oh no, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
To be fair, also, Jamie and Trayvon apparently are ordering off menu, so
okay.
Man.
Yeah, they're not paying.
You ever try the mozzarella sticks?
I don't know what you mean when you say that, so I don't want to have this conversation.
Fried cheese, Joanne. Have you ever tried the fried cheese?
I don't know if this is a trap. No, I don't eat food.
It's a trap.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
They are. I like the sliders too.
All right, Peacemaker. God damn it.
No, this show's be good. August, right? Yeah, it'll be good. It should be fun.
Best month of the year.
We'll see more of Justice Gang in that. I hope it's not just that little scene. I mean, I guess it probably will be, but
yeah,
maybe we'll see him again. Maybe, I don't know. As much as them as possible. Cool.
Nathan Fillion loves James Gunn, but not at a price cut. So I don't think you're seeing him a whole lot.
He loves his brother though. Maybe his brother keeps showing up. I don't know.
Oh, his brother for sure. Yeah, I mean that just comes with the territory. But Isabella and Nathan seem they might be expensive right now. I'm saying he hopes he sees them more in that season, and I'm saying probably not.
Oh, in the show. Oh, I don't know.
Right? Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
That might be the only scene actually.
That might be it. Yeah, that might be it. Maybe you're lucky there's some other one, but
I mean, look, you only saw Viola Davis like a handful of times.
It's fair.
That was it. Jamie,
That's fair.
How did you like this trailer? And please keep it PG because we've already discussed.
Y'all know me. I'm PG all the time.
Nope.
She's like, I love the meats. Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
Jeez Louise.
See, now this sounds kind of crazy.
This is what you said. This is what you started.
Oh, I know. I did not say.
You and Trayvon said you'll pay premium prices for good meat.
Absolutely
not.
No, absolutely not.
Did not say that. Joel was saying it was expensive.
It was. You guys just.
I don't.
Talking about Arby's.
Arby's.
Not men.
Arby's.
Oh, so they're inexpensive. Interesting.
I'm not paying for nothing.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the man. But anyway, Peacemaker. I enjoyed.
How'd I get Nerd with Tech as my screensaver?
Yeah,
we were asking about
You gotta change your icon.
I never changed it to that.
Why don't
StreamYard does that? I don't know. That's weird.
Somebody fuck with my shit, yo. Lucky I don't have time to change that shit. So you lucky.
Joel with us, he liked the meat too. But anyway.
That is technically like a Pride logo right there.
Oh
my
man.
God.
Oh.
Joel's an ally.
Yes. See, he don't want to say it. He don't want to say it, but we see him.
He gotta edit his audio avatar.
That's so funny. Oh man.
God.
I enjoyed the trailer. I was shocked to see Tidy Whitey's in it. Like, oh, okay, we're keeping it going. I'm like, that is a Peacemaker staple.
It is
the Tidy Whitey's. What else? It has made me think I should go back and rewatch the first season because I'm looking at people and I'm like, I feel like I know you, but it's not coming to my mind right now. So I got to rewatch. Listen, you shake your head. Listen, I'm telling you, I try my best. There's only so much space up here.
Amy, it's only 4 characters. That's why I'm shaking my head. It's only 4.
Listen, I repeatedly say on most shows that I'm on, I don't be remembering people's names, but I remember how they made me feel. Okay,
I remember anime. You just don't remember anything else. You remember anime.
No, that's not even true. That's not even true.
That's
not even true. That's not even true. That's not even true. So yeah, definitely gonna have to refresh myself on that. But really, it just makes me think how in the first season, I wasn't really expecting much. I honestly thought I wasn't even gonna enjoy Peacemaker. I ended up really liking the show. So to see some of the same things that made me really enjoy what they had going, like the camaraderie, some of the drama, to see that he's still trying to get in with I don't know if it's the Suicide Squad or some other group. I think it's interesting. And the fact that they have oh my god. We were just talking about him. Guy. They had Guy in the trailer. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's already creating ties. Granted, Superman will have come out by that point, but it's keeping the story going. And it's something I think that's interesting. And I'm wondering long term if they're gonna run into what is perceived as Marvel fatigue, with people being like, I gotta watch the shows to watch the movies, which I don't personally think is true. It's a lot of things that you have to watch to keep up with. So I'm curious how they'll do that long term. But in the short term, very excited for Peacemaker. I'm trying to think. I'm like, there hasn't really been that many DC shows, has there? Penguin, this
just not in continuity.
Well,
but there's been quite a few.
Really? On HBO Max?
No, wait. Are you talking about HBO Max or in the entirety of DC?
I'm not talking about CW. I'm talking about what?
Yeah, there was stuff off the CW. There was Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the shows that I knew about that.
Yes to your question. Yes.
Yeah. I get. Yes. My apologies, y'all. But I'm getting on with Peacemaker. I really enjoyed Penguin. I'm excited for season 2 for Peacemaker coming up here shortly. So yeah, that's been great. We have been doing really well with the DC shows that I know of.
We'll keep it in DC. We're gonna kind of speed through a lot of this. I don't want to keep this too long. There was a report from the apparent Warner Brothers investors meeting where it was being made known that Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl will be the pillars and the backbone of the DC universe, which is interesting because we don't have a Wonder Woman or a Batman. So, and what the fuck that means. So someone did ask James, do you have any updates on Wonder Woman? James did respond by saying, not to be shared publicly yet, but yes, and it's encouraging.
Yeah.
So
I was just reading something about that.
That's interesting.
Somebody tweeted something.
I'd like to know where the fuck Batman is, but it's good to know that, things are moving, I guess. Awesome.
Listen, has he said anything about like Pat Bat? And he still wants to do his own Batman because like Pat Bat's right.
He actually did. He did say that Matt Reeves has updated him personally.
Oh Lord,
on Batman 2, and it's going good. That was
okay. Good.
That was it. That's all he said.
Good news.
So essentially, we got nothing, really.
I mean, good update's a good update. I'll take it.
Ooh, Jeff Snyder with the juicy. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see if we'll ever get Wonder Woman or Batman by the end of this year. If we don't, it is a personal war crime, in my opinion. So let's see if it's rectified. All right. Trayvon, I want to make sure I get this in for you because I don't want you yelling at me. All right. We got something with vampires or some shit. I don't know. Sarah Michelle Gellar had a kid. Something happened.
Geller.
Okay. What happened?
What the hell is happening?
You can't switch to just you and then not talk.
I was
going to say hello.
I'm playing around with all those functions over here.
No, he's just trying to stop being an ally. He's trying to get that.
Is that what it is?
Well, I'm most definitely trying to get rid of that shit.
Go ahead, Trayvon. Let us know what's going on.
Oh, I mean, they cast who is going to be the next Slayer. I don't know what her name is.
Her apprentice.
I got you. It's Kira Armstrong. No, Ryan Kira Armstrong.
Yeah,
that's the chick from the Pirates thing, the Star Wars Pirate show was called.
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I didn't finish that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for her. I'm excited because this show is moving forward in general. So, yeah, yeah, I'm just excited for that because this Buffy's one of my favorite shows of all time. So I would really be very excited to see. It's so many of my things come back. Like we got that
Skeleton Crew.
Yes, and they cast you saw me off.
I swear to God, he's like the old person just figured out the phone for the first time. Like, what does this do? Can you see me? It's like, no, turn the camera around. Can you see me?
I've never had the full control before.
God damn it! You never will again. By the way.
Oh, you're signing. That's why.
No.
That's why y'all kind of you're signing as admin. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never again, guys. We're sorry.
I figured it out.
But they did also cast who's going to play the young Elle Woods for Legally Blonde as well.
They did.
So I'm, this is all these things will come back. It's fun. Let me find her name too, real quick. Hold on.
I'm very excited for Buffy though. Like that was one of my favorite shows. And Angel. Well, I actually like Angel more, but I love that universe.
I haven't seen, I would say, a majority of Angel, but my mom, she used to watch it like in the morning when I was getting ready for school. So that's when I would see it. And then he was also in, I think it's Bones. And I'm like, oh, it's Angel. I like Angels and Bones.
Angel and Bones sounds like a record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a good rerun. What was it, TNT, right? When they used to play it like that.
Yeah.
Anything
Charmed
else,
is Charmed like that too.
With Buffy, before we move on.
Oh, there's a new show that started today.
Back
That I want to
Angel
mention real
too.
quick.
That's what I want.
It is let's make sure, Trayvon, we're putting it out there. It is a reboot coming to Hulu. This Buffy series.
Yes, to Hulu pilot.
Right.
Yes.
Even though Sarah tried to act like we were stupid and say, I don't know what you guys are talking about. We're not doing anything. Yeah, we're not dumb, lady. Okay.
Well, she said
Clearly
they weren't
that
until they
household
said
needs
she
money.
talked to.
Yeah, she
Now hold on. Now don't do that to them. Okay.
They need money.
I love them.
It's clear.
Okay.
It's clear. They need money. Yeah. He's going back to old shit. She's going back to old shit. Sounds like money. I'm saying, I'm not stupid. I know money grab when I see one.
Back it up.
Look, Joel, do you want to see why Trayvon's biased? What was the first thing Trayvon said when that mask was taken off at San Diego Comic-Con and Doom was revealed to be Robert Downey Jr.? Oh, that's a cash grab. That's a cash grab. But when Sarah does it,
it is a cash grab, but not for him.
Serendipity?
He don't need the money. It's a cash grab for Disney. They need to be saved right now.
Okay,
that's why they did
Hulu
that.
need to be saved. Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. Save Hulu, all right? And Sarah's here to do it.
Hulu is owned by Disney. They don't even say these.
Apparently, look, they penny pinching over there. So
the rich need to be saved.
There you go. You know. All right, so let's move on. Disney had a Disney upfront where they were revealing up and coming projects coming out, and we were blessed with being given the privilege of rubbing this in Trayvon's face.
Oh,
that none other than Kristen Ritter will be returning to reprise the role of Jessica Jones.
Do you want to get me started on this? You sure?
In Daredevil. Do I want to get you started?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. To be fair, you haven't seen her on set yet. Do you think maybe she's pulling out? Or do you think, like, is her confirming it enough?
Look, I just know they announced it. I don't know how much she's in it. That's all I'm saying.
She said on Twitter she need to update her resume.
First of all, time out. The fact that she's stepping 2 feet in this should be enough for you. It's called Daredevil. I don't know how many more times we have to tell you, a show called Daredevil, you should not be looking for others more than you are Daredevil. That's your first problem.
What you're not understanding is I would rather them say the show Jessica Jones is back. this just not what you're understanding. That's what I would have enjoyed more.
Or, in a perfect world, none of them that you love would return except for Daredevil. How about that?
I mean, that's what I figured was going to happen anyway.
But did it? No. You got Kristen Ritter back. So be thankful. Thank Kevin, as I've been telling you. You should.
I'm not taking crumbs.
Thank Kevin.
Give this man his meat. Give this man his meat.
No, I'm done. Joel, anything else you want to shout out? Jamie has said that too many times. I'm getting gross.
Watch Overcompensating on Prime Videos. Great show. Love it so much.
What the hell is that?
Oh, wait, Joel. Let's quickly get through Last of Us.
Overcompensating is what I said on Prime Video. Thanks.
I want to say I'm excited for Jessica Jones' return. And I knew all along she would. I always had faith. Okay. I never doubted it. Not one time. Cool.
So wait, even though you haven't seen her actually start filming yet, you still believe she'll be in it, right, Joel?
Absolutely.
Or do you need to see like?
I didn't even need them to say that she was coming to know that she was coming. That's how. Okay. That's how much faith I had.
All right, because we know that's how it works in Hollywood. If you don't see them, then they're not in it.
Yeah. Right? It's like most things. Seeing is believing, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we know how that goes. All right. What else do we got? Oh, we do know that Wonder Man will have 8 episodes. They'll be 30 minutes each, coming out this December.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that season 2 of Percy Jackson is coming out this year, and apparently in 2 months they start filming season 3.
They better.
So we'll have season 3 next
5
year.
years older.
You see how they're growing?
Yeah.
Again, the difference is they don't have to be kids. That's just the age that they started them at. They don't have to still be kids. It's different than Stranger Things.
The books are about
but it's just like
kids.
I know, but I'm saying you can alter that they're not.
You can, but that was what the movies did before that. Everybody was like, they're too old.
Well, no, those movies were also not great.
I enjoyed them.
I liked them. Oh, I like the first one. The second one, I was like,
yeah, no, this is.
I don't remember them that well.
This is better. So let's keep this going. So they're gonna start filming season 3 in July. That's already been greenlit. We knew that back in season 1.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Was this M&M's?
No, this is pills for the dog.
Oh.
She gets seizures.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a happy-go-lucky. Oh, see, yeah, you know, you need cheese, right? I don't have cheese. You're gonna have to deal with this.
Damn, just take it dry. Take it dry and like it.
All right, let's wrap this up with Last of Us and Andor for Joe.
Oh my god. There's not enough time.
The Last of Us had this newest episode. I think it was episode 5.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. To me, it hit all the beats I needed. Ellie choosing revenge over safety of her lover. I appreciated that. Very accurate.
Yeah, her lover and her lover's baby.
Right. She very much said, "Ooh, not dad right now."
Her baby.
Her
Never mind. I don't care about. Never mind.
Damn, I was about to say, Dina's pregnant.
Yeah, and it's not Ellie's.
You just felt the need to tell you that in case you didn't know.
Yeah, just in case you had ideas. I'm like, no.
Ellie does not have
that ability.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, never know what
you're thinking, buddy. Thought the episode was fine. Had a lot of fun with it. They sped things up tremendously. I was very upset about that. When he came in and rescued her, and she was like, "Where did you come from?" He was like, "Well, someone had to save you." And I'm like,
"Oh, you bitch."
And then I will say this: I've never felt that this show so far has ever just given plot armor until this man said, "Yeah, you left your map in your room." It's like the map with the exact details as to where they would be. That's weird. That's very convenient. Didn't like that. But outside of that, very much enjoyed the episode. And I told you, Jamie, I told you Joel's alive. I told you all that was just a bad dream. All right? You should have listened to me. He's alive. Jamie, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Well, I did not come to that same conclusion. I'll tell you that.
Just because you're a hater. That's cool.
Listen, man. Was go with God, Joanne. Go with God. But I enjoyed the episode. I'm finding the conversation around the episode and the series in general to be very interesting as well as a part of my consumption of this show. I do see what you're saying about things kind of being sped along, and also seems like plot armor. I can't say for sure. I want to say something similar-ish happens in the game, so I'm like, I can't fault them too much for it if that's what they wanted to do.
Well, no, in the game, didn't Tommy go with them?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, why not just have him go with them? And that's why I said it was like plot armor, so it was just like, oh, we just so happen to know exactly where you were. Just like,
yeah, I don't fully agree with a lot of the changes that have been made so far, but I'm also Last of Us Part 1 for me. I'm like, that was the one where I really connected with it. Part 2, I still care, and I do think, interestingly, it impacted me more emotionally than Part 1 did in ways that I liked and didn't like. So I'm like, I'm just here to sit back and see how everything plays out. Like, will they be able to kind of put things together by the end of the time, the end of the day? But I thought it was funny that when Jesse miraculously shows up to rescue Ellie and Dina, and Ellie's like trying to chat his ear off, talking about like, how'd you find us? What did you do this? Is Tommy here? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, bro, do I look like I want to talk to you? Like, we're being chased. Shut up. Like,
what do you think was Jamie, his first thought when he saw Ellie was, do I gotta put a bullet in your head? And then she just comes running out. No, she wasn't bit. She's good. She's good. And he's like, oh, all right. I was about to put a bullet in her.
He was so ready. Yeah, so ready. Like, Dina hesitated for several hours. Jesse was like, yo, you good? I'll take you out right now. I gotta put it in you. So that was, that was kind of fun. I do like Jesse. I like Jesse and Dina a lot. In this
Ellie
show,
is very lucky. She's been traveling with people that actually care about her.
Yeah.
Because they both could have just led with pulling a trigger and been justified by it. But there's a little hesitation because they love her. It's like, all right, let me ask first.
Yeah, they care. They care. The chase scene with Nora, I thought was really interesting, and like seeing that environment in like a real space, I'm like, that was pretty dope and terrifying at the same time. Like, if I was working on the show, I'm like, yeah, don't put me on that set. I don't want to be anywhere near it. Don't want to be anywhere near it. But
those
very
fuckers,
cool.
clickers, are disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. And then I don't know if they added this part or if it was in the game, like the part at the beginning where they had the lady talking about her. Well, we didn't know it was her son Leon at the time. It was just like, oh, like Leon, who was a part of your team, and kind of how everything played out. And then come to see him at the end with like the name tag, and I'm like, oh, that was crazy. I'm like, that was good. I feel like that's been my favorite part of this series in general. And I've said this multiple times, but like when they do something extra, it's like maybe it wasn't in the game, or like they're just recontextualizing something that was in the game and like give it that extra spin. I'm like, that's great, because like that's something I've never experienced or never seen before, and you're like opening my eyes to like something different. I'm like, that's really cool. So I enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they're gonna end this season. It feels like it's gonna end with the shoe on the other foot, if you know what I mean. And I don't know how people are gonna deal with that. So
Not
I'm
very
very
well.
curious to see.
I mean, at least they gave you some leeway, and the game kind of got right fucking to it. So
See, that's the thing where I feel like
well,
in this situation you shouldn't have done the leeway, because people are already upset, and it's like they're following, they're like, yeah, I want revenge, and then the shoe gets on the other foot, they're like, why the no, like, no, I don't want to do this. Versus if you make them upset and then you like start to learn the reason as to why, and then you go, you follow Ellie's journey, and like I feel like people would be more upset, similar to how they did in the game, basically similar to how they did in the game. But now I don't know. And the other thing is, I felt like it worked in the game because the two stories kind of came together. Whereas now I feel like we'll potentially be backtracking in the next season and then come back to current events, instead of kind of feeling like it's playing out at the same time. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. But
I've always said I thought you should end it to where you're building up Ellie's journey to find her, and it ends with her finding her. In season 3, starts you from Abby's point of view, and then when you get to the halfway point is when you come back to the moment.
Okay? Oh my goodness!
The moment they meet, and then you can start to let things play out from there. But I think the viewing audience should have to suffer from seeing her point of view for a while, same way we had to. So
see, I'm not opposed to it, but the only thing for me personally is which seems like the route that we're going right now, we see Ellie's point of view, and then like we go to the other side of things. There's still gonna be tension, but it's like, how things have to end up to get to the point that we were in season 2. So it's like, oh, I'm not really worried about what's happening because I know where they're gonna be by the end of it, Instead of it's like, as far as like people have never played the game or don't know anything about Last of Us, they're like, Ellie might make it, Ellie might not make it. I have no idea. And it'll be like same thing, like Abby might make it, Abby might not. But if you know that she meets her at some point in the future, it's like, oh well, I know that they're gonna have to cross roads at some point.
That is the point. Like that's what it's up to Elliot what it is. If we leave it to that girl, yes.
Yeah. So
he's gonna get there.
Curious to see how it's all gonna work out. I feel like a lot of people are turning, though. I guess pun not intended, but a lot of people are turning on this show in a way I was not even anticipating, even with like the whole killing of Joel in mind. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how far I don't know if they're far along into season 3 as far as planning, as in like too far to take what's the feedback that's being put out into consideration. But I hope that they're not, just so that way they can maybe there's something they can throw in there to kind of make things a little better for people. But it's also, you know, this is art, so do what serves the creator best. Don't worry about the audience.
And
Me personally, I'll just throw my things out there.
I think he's done a great job of blocking that out and doing more so what he thinks serves the story best. Which is why, again, I thought it was plot armor. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm still loving the season.
Yeah.
You know, so again, I'm gonna have my small issues, but I don't think I'll ever have an issue big enough to speak poorly about the show.
So I'll never have an issue.
Whatever he wants to keep doing, I'm with.
That conflicts with the game story enough because I don't remember the game story enough.
That's the other thing where I'm like, I feel like everything's pretty much playing out the way it did before. So
I remember all the big
character things that I think are different, but
I remember all the big moments in the second one more so than I do the first one.
Oh, really?
So for season 1, I was kind of just like, okay. For season 2, I'm like, I do know some of the points you got to hit. So, and so far they've been hitting them. So that's why, for me, the biggest thing was if you're going to chase her down the thing, you got to get. I thought the dialogue of that scene was more important than the actual scene itself, because I'm like, when she says to her, essentially, haha, we're both going to die now, dummy. And Elliot's just kind of like, no.
Not me, bitch.
Just you. Only you.
It's like, well, if we do, you're going first.
Right. I thought that was very important, that conversation between the two of them, for her to realize that Ellie is their Jesus. So that was the chosen one. Right. So he's still keeping the DNA of it, but he might be changing a few of the the scientific properties of said DNA. But it's
doesn't that change the DNA then? It's not the same if you change the property.
Not all the way. No, not all the way. You still got the gist of it, I guess. I failed science. But Joel, what were your thoughts on the episode?
It was a good episode. I had a really good time with it. I saw some critiques of it, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, but not for me to give a fuck. I thought it was well enough. It was played out well enough.
Joel to give a fuck.
It really does. I mean, there has to be drastically different for me to care enough to go, oh, that was terrible. No, it was their adaptation.
Oh, you know, one critique that I do kind of understand. It's not something that's like fully bothers me yet, but some people are saying this show's almost got like a rom-com element to it now, because like, you know, Ellie and Dina are in love and like trying to be playful and things like that. And I kind of see what they're saying, but it's also like, it's only been an episode since they confessed, and like, you know, there's a lot of emotions running. So I'm like, I'm gonna give it another episode before I be like, all right, y'all kind of doing too much.
Well, also we have to also keep in mind what I think he's doing is he's mixing in a little bit of who the actual actress is along with who Ellie is. So you're getting a blend of both. So you're in the second game,
I see what you're saying.
After Joel dies, there's not much, if any, joking with Ellie. It is all fucking business. But I mean, that might not be the way that they want. Again, they've shown you in season 1, they don't fully want to go into the darkness with this show. They're not afraid of it, but they're not willing to go full in. There's some levity to it in certain moments. So I think they're just not trying to make it a doom and gloom, just all shit's gonna end type of feel. It's like there is some levity to it, you know, and I'm fine with it because it's not drastically changing Ellie. The moment that stamped that for me was when they were just like, oh my God, let's get you out of here. And then when they got separated, it was just like, I don't give a fuck about that baby or that bitch. Revenge time. And I'm like, yes, that's Ellie. That's exactly what Ellie did. So I'm like, okay, great. Awesome. Wait, this was a good episode. This season also has too much brevity? Did you mean brevity, bitch? Did you mean that?
too much emotional whiplash.
Okay.
I tell you what, Didge. Join us next week so you can better explain what you mean. Because I don't want you to have to be typing as I'm verbally responding. So next week, join us and explain, because I don't really know what you mean.
Levity. Oh, levity.
He was having two convos. Yeah, I'm like, I think that's what he meant. I'm like, brevity. I'm like, that's some new shit.
It's too much happy, joy. Okay. I guess.
I don't fully agree, but I don't fully disagree either.
The only reason why, if I were to take that stance, it doesn't bother me, is that the second game is just murder, kill, murder, kill. And I'm like, I don't mind a little bit of levity in that. Like, when you're playing the game, it's different. Who cares? But, like, when you're watching a show, it's kind of like, I don't mind a little bit of levity. That's not a bad thing for me.
I think that's what most people have issues with, is the fact that she's more... She hasn't changed that much from the first season. She's still very much a sarcastic bitch. Like that she wants to be, right? Yeah. But she jokes around still, even though shit's real. And whereas in the game, she kind of was very right to the point when shit was going down, and she kind of stopped joking around a little bit. And I think that's like, I don't mind. I don't mind her still kind of more or less being the same with the mission. Like, I still haven't lost my focus. I just, downtime's downtime.
I do. I would like to see some of that seriousness at some point, because I think
we got it.
There's, but it's like
she wasn't joking with the bitch in red.
No. But it's like, then she'll go back to, like, kind of joke around playing, which I think is fine. But I also think the intensity and that seriousness and being like, yo, yeah, I want to get this shit done. People are going to die. We need to make that happen. I also really enjoyed that aspect of Ellie's performance in The Last of Us Part 2. So I'm like, I think we saw a good portion of like happy Ellie in season 1. I'm like, I'm ready to see like what more can Bella Ramsey bring to this role in terms of like, let's get down to business. Let's take some bitches out.
I actually think she's been doing it. But remember, in the second game, I don't think you explored this much with was it Dina? Yeah, with Dina.
You do.
No. I mean, as far as how they're kind of dragging it out a little bit, emotionally, I think you kind of do need some kind of because what you don't want is for your viewer to start, if you're taking everything serious, your viewer who doesn't know anything about this game might start thinking, oh shit, it's like, it's more bad shit gonna happen, like what's about to come. You kind of want to put them in a false sense of security where they don't really know what's coming, right? And then you bam, hit them with that. Like, think about it. If you never played the game, Joel dying completely caught you off guard. There was nothing for you to believe Joel was gonna die, let alone like that. Yeah. So you kind of rock them to sleep a little bit, then bow, hit them with something. So, like I said, it's not, to me, I never feel, when she needs to be serious, she hits those points. In that room where she's like, where's Abby? Like, I thought she was hitting those points there. I thought she was doing great. So I'm like, I'm okay with a little breakup here and there. It's just when you need to be serious, I don't need jokes. So if she finds another,
she's kind of doing that a little bit.
No. But I'm saying it's not like when she saw the chick in the basement. There were
no jokes there.
That's what I mean. When it's time to get down to it, I need you to be that serious, and she was. So that's.
I feel like any fight she's in, she should probably be serious too, though.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, when you start to say that, maybe it's not you, but when Didge was alluding to maybe it's a little too much. I'm like, too much for me would be, you're being jokey when you're supposed to be serious. That's when it's too much.
You should become Spider-Man in the fight,
right? But if you're not fighting for your life and you choose to find levity in your day, I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And look, I will say that second game is very toxic, because I've never in my life wanted to kill someone more than I wanted to kill Abby. So I'm like, that's not a good headspace to be in. Like,
I mean, no,
yeah. Scenes to hurry up and kill this motherfucker. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay.
That's how I feel. So I'm like, you just, I'm fine with how they're breaking it up. You know what I'm saying? I think it's totally fine. I think it's totally
Dang.
fine.
You don't know that Ellie could have hugged and kissed Abby and been like, I forgive you, and you would never
I
seen
would
the
have never
cutscene.
known. I would have never known. I'm like,
Seen
where's the bow and arrow? Can I stab more? Yes? No? No? Okay. But I don't think it's becoming. I don't think it's drowning out the stuff you need to do. Joel, anything else to add on The Last of Us?
No, I look forward to seeing the rest every week. Just sit there at 9 o'clock Sunday.
Crazy, we only got 2 episodes left.
That's the most disappointing part. Saying that out loud.
I did want to add this in, Joel, before we got off air because I know how much you loved it. We did get our first official look at Spider-Man Noir along with the trailer.
Oh, yes.
And Amazon did come out and tell us that when it premieres next year, go back off. Go back off. No, I'm just joking. They did tell us that you can watch it in either color or black and white.
Oh.
Just so everyone knows, color does not exist when I watch that show. I will only be watching it in black and white. That's how it was meant. It's Spider-Man Noir.
I like that they're giving you the option.
I want it in black and white.
The pictures they showed was black and white, and
I haven't seen this. I'll have to look at this. Yeah.
Jamie,
quest for revenge, in my opinion. There's been so much lightheartedness.
Listen, man.
Trauma. No, that's the problem. The game is too much trauma. Okay, too much. I'm okay if the audience doesn't have to exactly suffer.
I'm going to be in apocalypse and always be depressed. I might as well just kill myself.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. See, exactly. Thank you, DJ. But anyway, Spider-Man Noir. I cannot wait, Trayvon. If you can bring up a photo, we have. I can send it to you if you need me. Oh shit! Did I just lose it?
No.
Oh shit.
Let me see. See, I think I thought that the Spider Noir thing was a picture and not a video.
No, they did drop a trailer also, but there was a picture. Yeah. So
I did see the picture.
Okay. I'm very excited for this. The only thing that bothers me is I'm like, is this just like a one-off thing that just like you're just doing your own thing, or is this gonna build to something? You know, because
they canceled all the shows, didn't they?
No, I know, but I'm saying now that you've officially done this, if this, you're not wrong, but hear me out.
If
this succeeds, will this be something you try to build upon? Or will this always be just its own thing? That's what I'm saying.
But by build upon, you mean not like a sequel. You mean like other things.
Yes, right, exactly. Yes, that's what I'm alluding to. Yes.
But I think if it's good, it might do another one. But I don't know if it's going to connect anything. I think it can connect the shit, but they would have to do other shit.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if they will. If I'm a Quest for Revenge, ain't shit happy till that's done. I will be Kobe every time. Job is not finished. What is there to celebrate? Well, I mean, you two almost died, and then you found out that the girl you've been crushing over for the longest is now pregnant and wants to share that with you. So I don't know if you meet that with doom and gloom, bitch. Game time. I don't give a shit about that baby. I'm here to kill. Like, no. I think you calm her with like, hey, I love you. This is awesome. We're gonna be a happy family in the midst of an apocalypse.
I'll say
that's what Dick is saying.
I'm not saying that's what Dick is saying. I'm saying that if you're saying you need to lock in, there has to be moments of levity. You can't constantly be in lock-in mode.
I'm with you.
That would drive you insane.
I'm with you on that.
You'd start just randomly just shooting people at
that
that point.
I believe there are people like that. I just don't think everybody's like that. And then to say that she should be like that.
If Dig's point is she's more like that in the game than she's being portrayed in the show, I don't disagree. But I also am not against the audience being given some levity for a game that's very, very emotionally heavy. Is what I'm saying. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that. That's all I'm saying. But yes, Spider-Man Noir looks awesome to me. Joel?
Spider-Man looks awesome to me. I've been saying they should have been doing this for a minute. But again, I thought even if it was a show or a movie, I always said that's to me what the Sony Spider-Man movie should have been. Yes. Instead of doing villain spinoffs, they should have done multiverse like different Spider-Verse projects like that, like Noir 2099, Spider-Ham animated series, like yeah, whatever the fuck. But Penny Parker would be cool too, right? Sound like an anime Penny Parker. Like
I'd love it in live action, to be honest with you.
Cool, yeah, that would be cool. But I'm just saying, fitting on what it was, like that was based on anime.
Yes.
So like yeah, that'd be and that would also be cool in live action. But they could. There's a lot of different Spider-Verse characters they can do projects on, and then you could have did something in live action and brought them all together. That was more interesting to me than Craven the live action film with no Spider-Man. Like that's more intriguing to me. So this is like when I heard they were going to do it, I was like, oh, finally. And this looks incredible. Like I'm very excited to see how they pull this off. And like if it's really good, I would love to see more of it and other spin-offs of the Spider-Verse. Like, that's what we should be doing.
I'll also say this: if you're Amazon and Sony, if season 1 of this hits, and I mean like really does great numbers, you want to know the first phone call I'm making, and I'm not even exaggerating or joking. The first phone call I'm making is to Oscar Isaac, and I'm trying to pitch him on the idea of Spider-Man 2099. I'm 100% trying to sell him on doing a live action version of that. Because you get both. Same thing with this. You get the name and Spider-Man, putting them together and selling it. And if this does well, I have no reason to believe doing an Oscar Isaac-led Spider-Man movie wouldn't do the same. And then, keep building off of that. I think you keep building off of that. And then if you want to do like a collaboration together, that would do gangbusters for over there at Amazon. So here's to hoping that this does great next year and we can maybe get a little bit more leaves or branches off that tree.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be ideal.
Yeah. And don't let Sony in any of the creative rooms. Just tell them, sign paper. Just sign your name. Sign your name. That's all you. That's what you're here for. Trayvon, you perked up. I actually saw you cartwheel into the room for this conversation. So, you excited for Spider-Man Noir?
I am. I just had no comment on the other stuff y'all talking about. But yeah, this that's why I popped back in. Wait a minute. But yeah, this looks cool. I'm excited to see what they do with this. I don't know much about his character, but I'm just like, except he's stealthy and stuff, so I don't really know. Like the whole show about him is gonna be interesting to see, and hopefully they keep my attention. That's it.
It's basically Jessica Jones is it's
a detective.
But it's very that style noir.
Oh, okay.
Except this is like old school noir or black and white, like old school detective shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Jamie, you're basing it just off the photo, but.
I just watched I think was the trailer. I'm pretty sure.
Oh God, I hope it was. Didn't go to Tubi, did you?
That was a fan film.
No, hold on now. Tubi got a lot of stuff on that now.
I've been hearing that, honestly.
They got all the seasons, a lot of shows on there.
It's
I heard they got all the hood classics.
Yeah,
it's Spider-Man Noir, not Tricard Noir. Did you watch the right thing?
I believe I did. I believe so. I'm interested. I love detective anything pretty much. So I'm always down for that. I think. Oh. I'm sorry, you had something to say. I think Juwan said that was a lie. Like I don't know what the lie was. Where was the lie?
Sound like me, but go ahead. What were your thoughts?
Oh, interesting. I'm put on the glasses now, trying to pretend to be someone else for man. But I think what they're doing with the at least black and white version, I didn't see anything with color, so I'll have to go and look at the chat later and see the two different versions. But what they're doing with that, I think, is really striking, even though it's like, the spectrum of colors they're using are very limited, but there's still something interesting about the art direction there. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. It also seems like they're not trying to keep it so like realistic and grounded. Like they're willing to kind of do some things that are, I don't want to say cartoonish because I feel like people have been using it in a negative connotation as of late, but it's just like more animated with some of the like fight scenes and just different ways to depict like what's going on with the action that was interesting. So I'm down for this. I thought Spider Noir was interesting, but didn't give me like a lot of meat on the bone to chew on as far as Spider Verse. So I'm curious to see if they can convince me to become a fan. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
Look
And
at
Joel,
all you need.
Joel, I will let you end this out on Andor.
Andor. All right. I don't know if anybody's watched Andor.
I need to watch the last 3.
Well, this was a fucking ride, I will say. Did he leave? This guy. I'm gonna do that one day. He's gonna say something cool. I'm gonna leave. Say fuck it. Not say a word.
I didn't do that because I'm not doing it
Don't
for
worry
you.
about it, Trayvon.
I didn't do it for you. I did it because I don't watch the show.
I'm gonna
Don't do
pretend like I didn't watch
that.
It's gonna happen.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Andor. So me and Jamie only. I won't spoil anything, but I'll try to keep it short and non-spoilers. I really thought, and I finished it. And I got through the last 3 episodes, and I actually really wanted to watch Rogue One right after.
See, that's what I want to do after I finish the season. I want to watch Rogue One
because it kind of goes right into it. So
yeah,
like, oh, man, all right, cool. I want to do it. I did it only. I only did the 3 episodes of the first night. I don't know how I did it.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. It took me
I
the
finished.
whole week.
I did all week. No,
it's been taking me the whole week for all of them. To be honest with you, I'll watch one at night, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta go to bed. Otherwise, I'm not gonna remember what I see for the next one.
I was doing 2 and then 1 in the next day. So this week was easy. I didn't go into the office, so I didn't watch anything that night because I was watching basketball. So I ended up watching everything. I watched 1 in the morning, 1 like around lunch, and then 1 after work.
Oh, wow.
I spread it out, and then so that was the last shit I watched with Andor. So I was really debating on watching the movie afterwards. But let me hold it off. I might watch it next week. So but just because I have everything in my head from that show, I'm like, it would have probably been cool just to go right into it. But I thought this was very well written, very well performed. So it was. It was one of those things where Andor is just like, it's so different from what you normally get from Star Wars. It takes itself very seriously, like crazy seriously. There's like shit like people die in Star Wars. Not the first time people die, but the way they die feels different in this show. The way it's taken, the way it feels different.
Yeah,
feels like a political drama in that Star Wars world. Like it feels it feels different. Everything is the way they do it is different. It's crazy. It's just like you don't normally get that because Star Wars is Star Wars for the most part. This to me is the most almost non-Star Wars thing that they have of Star Wars because it's very much you don't have to be a Star Wars fan to like it. You also might not like it because you're a Star Wars fan because it's so different.
Possibly.
But it's so good. Like it's like good in terms of like the way it's written, how it's performed, and how it's it respects itself. You know, it does stuff like there's a scene when I think it was the last 3 when what's her name, Mothma. So she's doing her thing, and we know in Rebels she does one as well, right? And it takes place right after. They actually put in like when because she escapes eventually. Like, it doesn't interfere. It doesn't get its way. Like it won't. It doesn't like unretcon it. It still leaves space for that scene to happen again on the ship for Rebels, but also takes place also on the planet during the council because she gets cut off, obviously. But it's just like one of those things where they respect that there's other things around. I don't want to disconnect from the stuff you've seen already. But this happened like this here, and then you can go into that. It was really well done, and it's emotional. Like if you know, like if you keep up with the story, like, you get it. You're like, oh fuck, it's crazy. It's very cloak and daggery, like because it is very political drama. So there's a lot of that, and it's just done so different, and it does because there is no.
Joel, hold on a second. Trayvon, go back off screen. He didn't mean cloak and dagger like characters.
That's why I laughed.
I know that's exactly why Trayvon popped back in.
No,
he's like, they got superpowers? No, that's not what he was saying.
No, it's very stealthy because there's a lot of spy games. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's about the revolution. So it's about the rebellion, and it's all about. You watch the show and you know that they're talking. The end goal.
I will.
Oh, will you? Okay.
Yeah,
no, he will not.
I will.
I believe Trayvon.
He'll go straight into the movie. Yes, I will.
I believe him.
Well,
I enjoyed the movie. So.
But it's very much a long version of the movie. It's just 2 seasons worth of it. Like there's a lot of story, and now you get to the point where like you find out that there's the Death Star thing, like because that they find out later in the season. You get to that point, and you're like, oh, this whole thing is leading up to like the plan. Like they're like, oh shit, what are we? Because it's all about rebelling against the Empire.
When the show first came out, I was watching. It was just very slow, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
it is slow.
I would say it still kind of is, which is funny because it's like I think I'm more mentally prepared since I stuck through the season 1, and then that finale was crazy. I'm like, oh, that's so good. And then I feel like they have spiced it up a little bit more, I think, in the season and given you like a little bit more action, a little bit more like just like spicy things.
The only time that it didn't feel like the seriousness that you got was like when they were in the first 3 episodes. I think it was the first 2 episodes where they're in the jungle with the 2 sides. That's the only time it felt like it like.
That's where it lost me.
That was the only time it felt like regular Star Wars. Once it got out of that, you went back to like what Andor was.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Once we
moved past that, it was all kind of like silly. It was a little silly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
After that, it was right to business.
So I'm excited to see like what the last 3 episodes are because since they come out, I've just seen people like raving about the show. I haven't really seen anybody really talking about it until like these last 3 episodes, where people have just been raving about it. So I'm curious to see what people are chatting about, and also will this make people go back and reanalyze Rogue One?
I would say so. If you're like a Star Wars historian, it'd be interesting to watch this and go like, "This is cool." That they reference certain things and then they plays out or stuff like that. Like this is because it all takes place within 5 years from like the beginning of Andor to end of Andor.
I was surprised at the number of time jumps in this season. I'm like, damn! I'm like, where's the time going?
Every 3 episodes is a new year, I believe.
Yeah.
So like it takes you right into like Rogue One, which is not far off from the end of this. Because I believe it goes right into it. I can't.
That's what I think Tony Gilroy is.
Yeah, so it goes like right. It's not far off, and then you find like it's just the way everything connects and the way the story is told and the betrayal.
Well, like the freedom the show is given is the movie starts from Erso's side, so you get from her point of view, and then from her point of view, she meets Andor.
Right.
So this show is given freedom because there's no Andor story to handcuff you that you have to place alongside where we meet up with Andor in the movie.
Right.
So it gives you all this free landscape, which is what I've been saying Star Wars needs to do more of. Free landscape that does not handcuff you. Use more of that. The gray area that exists out there. Use that. So that's why creating this show is genius, is because there's so much gray area. You're not worrying about stepping on the toes of characters that people are like, they're beloved. Well, I mean, spoiler alert if you've seen the movie. Can't love them that much.
It's funny because, like, me and my mom, we were talking about this because we were watching the show together a little bit. And she was like, where's Bix? Like, why isn't Bix in the movie? And now I finally got to the part where they explain, like, where Bix is at. And I'm like, oh. Now I'm curious, like, what is she doing, I guess, since the events of Rogue One? I don't know if they explain that in the next 3 episodes.
Oh, you see.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Got it.
Nope. So if you guys have not yet checked out Andor, make sure you guys go check out Andor, see how it all ends before it begins.
Mm-hmm. It's just fun. Like, just one last thing.
Yeah.
It was just fun watching it, knowing where it's going, and like this all leads to fucking New Hope. It's fucking crazy. It goes right into like this all goes into like the actual movie itself, the main story.
Mm-hmm.
Like this all goes into like the credits, because that's all it comes from. Rogue One comes from the beginning credits of New Hope. Yeah. All that. So it's like, oh, they recreated it and made it a movie, and then obviously it comes New Hope, and it's like
that's pretty
insane.
Yeah, another example of empty canvas utilizing it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great. All right, shout out to that entire team. Hopefully they get awards and they start respecting this space. Unintended. But outside of that, we are gonna leave you guys with that for tonight. We will see you guys next week. Yeah. We'll see you guys next week. So then, I want to thank Jamie for joining, Trayvon and Joel for running this ship with me.
Thanks
and for everyone that tuned in, Didge and DJV and Effective Ketrick. Thank you guys for being in the comment section.
Bots, I think.
We invite all bots, spam bots, Autobots.
Oh Lord,
yeah, all bots. K-bots, we invite you all. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, peace.
Pass.
Go Knicks.
Yes, sir.
Knicks.
You were supposed to say go